This is it, the showdown, the final stop on the 1985 Road to the Bassmasters Classic, the Florida Invitational here on Lake Okeechobee. What we'll see today is more than just another Bass Angler Sportsman Society tournament. It's that last tournament of the 85 qualifying meets, and for many of these bass anglers, it's the last chance to add the points that can win them an invitation to the Bassmasters Classic. And for the one angler here this week, there's that one added distinction of winning the Bass Angler of the Year title, the award that goes to the angler who's the best of the best at the season's end. It's the most exciting last chapter we've ever had in the bass competitions. Stay with us. The Bassmasters will be right back.
There's a bass out there ready for the record book. A shark. A walleye. Now you've got the line to land them. Stren Class Line. We make it as strong as IGFA rules will let us. Any stronger, it would be disqualified. They're waiting. Stren Class Line from DuPont. Come, rewrite the record book with Stren.
To be perfectly honest, I can't tell you I catch fish every time I go fishing. And I can't tell you that every time I use fish formula, I catch them. But I can promise you, on the slow days, it definitely helps me catch bigger fish. I'll stake my reputation on it. And so will these other well-known fishermen.
Hey, let me tell you something. Fish formula works. Under all sets of situations, it'll help you increase your odds of catching big fish like this.
At Ranger, people are important. People like Garland Hurst and Randy Hopper that have helped build every boat. That kind of experience is hard to beat. Because we fish, we listen to our friends who own Ranger boats. Their ideas frequently are the best ones. Most of our boats are still being used, and we've been building them over 15 years. That Ranger quality goes into each boat we build, one boat at a time.
Lake Okeechobee, a shallow, sprawling 750-square-mile weed and grass-infested lake in South Florida, and the scene for the last chapter of the Classic Quest. It's here the top 35 anglers on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail will win a berth to the World Championship of Professional Bass Angling, the Bassmasters Classic. And it's also on this giant lake that the Angler of the Year will be crowned, an honor many feel is of even greater prominence than the Classic crown.
Oh, he's going under
Larry Nixon, two-time winner of this award, leads the Angler of the Year race by 13 pounds, 15 ounces going into this last tournament. But he's well aware that it's never over till it's over.
Bass. This year, I'm definitely going to have to catch fish because it's here in Florida on big fish waters. The fishermen in second and third place are very knowledgeable fishermen. They know these waters well, and one of the three, or one of them two guys, is going to catch fish. So as to how many fish I have to catch to hold out this time, I would say I've probably got to catch at least 25 pounds to have a chance at remaining Angler of the Year, and more than likely I'm going to have to catch 30 to 35 pounds. I know that my practice has been awful tough. I haven't done near as well as I thought I could do on this lake, so really, as far as me being sure of myself about winning it again, I couldn't say that I'm real certain that I will. I'm going to give it my best shot, and hopefully fishing's been just as tough on the other two guys, and they'll have just as rough a time catching fish as I'm going to have.
Second-ranked angler Denny Brower, coming off a win at Chickamauga Lake, is a threat, as is all-time great Roland Martin. Even though Martin is 21 big pounds back of Nixon, he's fishing his home lake, an advantage many say. But other favorites have not fared well on their home court. Here, though, knowledge of the water is more important than on many lakes. Okeechobee is big, and it's dotted with fish-holding rock piles and reefs miles from her shores. Many of these fish-holding areas are known only by the natives, the locals who fish the lake on a regular basis. Locals like Roland Martin. The Clewiston, Florida angler has favorite areas miles from the weedy banks. He uses Loran, a seagoing navigation system, to pick his way from point A to a hotspot, maybe 30 miles distant. He's considered an expert on this lake and flatly states before the tournament that he's going for it all, win or lose. Okeechobee, hard hit by Florida's drought, is at its lowest level in years. Much of the lake is only a foot or two deep, and you can now walk and kick dust on thousands of acres that were once underwater. This has concentrated the bass and made them accessible. It's also concentrated other inhabitants of this Everglades country, and some of them even act like black bass.
Got it. Woo!
Boy, I got me a hog. Oh, he's coming up to jump. Get him, look at the size of that dude. Here he goes. Look at the chompers on that dude.
While B.A.S.'s tournament rules allow only artificial lures to be used to catch the bass, the favorite technique here on Okeechobee for catching trophy fish is fishing wild shiners. Because of the low water and the accessibility of fishermen to fish, the harvest of trophy-sized bass has been greater during 1985 than possibly any other year. Even though the lake holds tremendous numbers of trophy bass, only so many can be harvested before the population becomes endangered. As a result of this conservation awareness, some marinas like Roland Martin's here in Clewiston have policies forbidding guides to kill fish over a certain size limit, unless that fish is to become a trophy mount. Instead of harvesting the bass, conservation-minded anglers like Roland Martin encourage picture trophies, an instant photo of fish and angler at the time of the catch.
I have a little marina here in South Florida, here at Lake Okeechobee, and my guides have a new rule. In fact, it's a rule that we instigated this last year. We say we cannot clean or kill a bass over 8 pounds. That was the original rule. Now it's going down to 6 pounds. In fact, we'll not let or allow the guides to kill and clean and fillet a bass over 6 pounds. It's just a sacrilege. We consider that if the person wants that one big trophy fish to mount, that's understandable, because as sportsmen, we need mementos of our sporting achievements. And if he catches a 9-pound bass, it's the biggest bass of his life, he deserves to have it mounted. So we concede that we can mount fish for people, but not to clean no big giant bass. And so now the whole country's kind of going to this, and we've talked to other guides and other marinas, and we're trying to get a voluntary catch and release program going outside of the tournament circuit.
Yeah, I think he's got it. He's got it. Got him? Oh, that's another big one. Don't let him get around that motor. Bring him around this side over here.
I'm working on it. Boy, he is hard.
Don't horse him. Just take your time.
He took me back down.
Let's get this rod out the way. That's a nice one.
He was hard, didn't he? All right, took a little line off. I thought that drag was tight.
Let's bring one around here.
I got it whipped now, I think.
Boy, he got way off that weed line, didn't he? Bring him over
Sure
here.
did.
All right, that's an 8-pound bass there. That is an 8-pound bass right there.
That's a beauty.
Got him right in the mouth, too. You're not going to hurt him at all. That's 8, 8.5, maybe 9.
That's a hell of a nice fish.
Turn him around the other way. Good fish.
Wow.
What are you going to do with him? You want to take his picture and turn him loose?
Let's take a picture.
Turn him loose, okay. Hold him up, hold him, open his mouth up. All right, Tim, we got that forever.
Let him go before we hold on to it.
All right, do that.
Don't go away. The Bassmasters will be right back.
I hope you're enjoying the Bassmaster. Just like these pros on the tournament trail, if you're a bass fisherman, you want to catch more and bigger bass, and that's what the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society is all about. I'm Ray Scott, president of Bass. You know, everything that we do and everything you get as a Bass member has one purpose: to make you a better bass fisherman and to make certain you have more fun doing it. As a member of this organization, you get 9 big issues of Bassmaster, all chock full of information on how to find bass and how to catch them. Each and every issue of Bassmaster is read by more than 2.5 million fishermen all wanting to know how to catch more and bigger bass. In addition to your subscription to Bassmaster, you'll also receive this official membership packet. It includes your own membership card, decal, handbook, and this handsome embroidered patch. And if you join Bass during this special TV offer, I'll send you a free bonus tackle pack worth $6.95. It includes a spool of string line, a bass spinnerbait, a pack of man's worms, and a supply of True Turn brute hooks. That's right, you get a year of Bass plus a free tackle pack for just $15 if you join now. And that's not all. During this special TV offer, I'll send you this book, The Bassmaster's Techniques to Catch Bass, absolutely free. So if you want to know more about how to catch bass and have more fun doing it, you need to be a member of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society. Remember, if you join now, you get a year of Bassmaster magazine, your official membership packet, and all the other Bass membership benefits, plus your free bonus tackle and your free book worth $9.95. All yours for just $15. So pick up the phone right now and call this number, 1-800-543-5500, or write Tackle Pack, P.O. Box Bass, Montgomery, Alabama, 36141. That's 1-800-543-5500. Major credit cards accepted.
Day 1, hot, clear, and calm. The Bassmaster Florida Invitational's 262 anglers can manage less than 4 fish per man. But in any tournament, there's always a name at the top of the leaderboard.
Manuel Spencer coming in with a load, folks. 7 bass, 6 alive. Watch the scale. This is going to be a whopping big bass catch. 25 pounds. 7 ounces, and that is the new leader for the day. Give him a nice hand, folks. That is a whopping bunch of fish. Let's hold up the 2 big bass. Manuel Spencer, we're going to weigh your biggest. I want to see what you got for biggest. But look here, folks. Beautiful fish. Manuel Spencer.
As the curtain for Day 2 of the Florida Invitational opens, the tension increases in the Angler of the Year race. Larry Nixon's lead is clipped in half as Roland Martin moves within 6 pounds 9 ounces of the Texas angler. Denny Brower drops to 3rd, and a whole new ball game starts with the first cast of the second day. Rick Klein, in 4th place in this tournament the first day, continues to work his shallow water worm pattern around the bulrushes in the monkey box area. The bass are here. It's simply a matter of making them bite. Nixon, who only managed 7 pounds 10 ounces the first day, fights to hold on to his narrowing Angler of the Year lead. Martin, covering huge areas of the lake he knows so well, brought 20 pounds 5 ounces of bass to the scales the first day, and now holds down the number 5 spot in the tournament as the minutes tick by this second day. The bass appear to be on 3 patterns: plastic worms in the pepper grass and bulrushes, topwaters along the edge of grass patches, and crankbaits off structure. With the wind calm and the sun bright, the fish retreat deeper and deeper into the grass and rushes, deeper on structure like Roland Martin is fishing, retreating from the flats to drop-offs. Martin is fishing a narrow ditch 2 feet deeper than the surrounding area. Big fish have been here in practice, but now the heavyweights are hard to come by. Even though a big anchor fish adds important pounds and ounces to a stringer, the average 12-inch legal size fish caught in a B.A.S.S tournament will weigh less than 2 pounds. As the sun-baked anglers head to the weigh-in line, the second day of the Florida Invitational is history. Rick Klein, with a great catch of 24 pounds 4 ounces, takes over first place, and Roland Martin jumps to second, 7 pounds 6 ounces off the leader's pace. Martin's second day catch shaves Nixon's edge to only 3 pounds 8 ounces in the overall Angler of the Year chase, as the two prepare to do battle the final day. Although there are many great anglers on the B.A.S.S tournament circuit, Roland Martin, with 16 career championships, 8 Angler of the Year awards, and more than $280,000 in earnings, is unquestionably the greatest angler in the history of professional bass angling. In the privacy of his Clewiston, Florida home, preparing for the last and final tournament day of the 85 Tournament Trail, Roland reflects on what Angler of the Year and the coming day means to him.
It's just the one goal that I want to do. I want to keep ahead on that. I want to amass enough total years and 15 or 20 years of fishing. I want to win that enough times that no one will ever win that many times, because that's my goal, to win that every year. And here I am on the eve of this 1985 year. I won it last year, and Larry Nixon is now, just today, 3 pounds and 8 ounces ahead of me. He was 22 pounds ahead of me just 2 days ago. But here it is, the last day of the last tournament of the year. And it's my home lake. It's an advantage for me. I have a few fish found. I'm 3 pounds and 8 ounces away. The career for my year hinges on tomorrow's effort.
The last day, the last chance for Larry Nixon to keep a hold on the coveted Angler of the Year award. The last chance for Rick Klein to pull a win. For Roland Martin, his last opportunity to win this tournament and the Angler of the Year. And the last chance for Mr. Consistency, Ricky Green, to qualify for his 14th consecutive Bassmasters Classic.
I feel like the pressure is the most I've ever felt, because it's a kind of expected thing after 13 years of doing this to be there. And, I know I'm going to be awful hyper, and I hope I can slow myself down enough for the bites I do get to catch the fish. It's going to be hard not to snatch at them a little harder than I normally would. I'm not fishing that well. I hadn't been fishing enough this year is one of my problems, I feel like. I've been doing more promoting and stuff like that, and I need to fish more. It's taught me a little lesson. But I think that I've got a good shot to get in there again. I'm about 32nd, 33rd place, something like that. I need about 10 pounds today, and hopefully I can get the bites to get that.
Still calm and flat and hot. But there's always a fish somewhere that will bite. Many anglers will stay in this one area the entire day, many of them throwing topwaters in an effort to entice the big bass they know live here. With the abundance of big bass in this lake, a big fish or two can change the total picture very quickly. Rick Klein continues to work his shallow water pattern along the bulrushes. Although he's fishing the same area and the same type baits as others, he's doing something a little different.
The whole key to this tournament for me has been the pitching and not the flipping. Just that little extra 10 to 20 feet seems like it makes a big difference in your big fish. If you get up here and do a conventional flip, you catch some little fish, but you're not getting hit by big fish. I've been around boats every day. I believe that's probably Hank Parker. He's been here every day. And all of them are doing the conventional flip. And they're catching fish, but they're not catching the big ones. And as shallow as this water is, I think you're getting too close to these big fish and they're moving away from you. So I'm just really using a pitching technique instead of that's been the only subtle thing I've been doing different than the other guys in the area. Now, flipping is basically a two-handed operation, underhanded, much like this right here. But the thing is, you're limited to your distance on your flip, and so your boat has to be a lot closer to the target. Pitching is just an underhand swing of the bait toward your target, and you can gain more distance.
Well, it's going down to the wire for Martin, Klein, Nixon, and Green. Stay on board. The Bassmasters will be right back for a conclusion so close, the scales can't even measure it.
Introducing Hog Sticker Jigs by LC's Lures, designed by 3-time national champion Charlie Ingram.
I designed the Hog Sticker Jig with large legs on the outside of the skirt and small legs in the center of the skirt. And what this does is allow the jig to fall very slowly and enter the water very quietly. Boy, does it work for me!
Hog Sticker Jigs, available in over 90 colors from LC's Lures of Corbin, Kentucky.
The revolutionary fish formulas are used by the world's best fishermen. Enough said?
At last, the ultimate in fish finding technology, Humminbird's LCR Liquid Crystal Recorder, the depth sounder that bridges the gap between flashers and charts, combining the best features of both. Now the most advanced concepts in sonar are combined with state-of-the-art microcomputer innovations to bring boaters and fishermen more features and more fish-finding versatility than any other depth sounder on the market. LCR, the creation of a new generation from Humminbird.
I'd like for you to meet Ricky Green of Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And I want you to see what this man is putting on the scale. He had to have about 12, 14 pounds to come into the Classic, and watch the scales. All right, that's 2013. Now listen, you are one of the most incredible anglers. I'm looking at a lot of your peers out there, Don Cajano.
Larry Nixon, with one chance left for his Angler of the Year bid, comes to the scales.
All right, folks, here he is, Larry Nixon. Just a second before the scale settles out. Now, we know, I'm going to repeat this very briefly before the scale tallies out.
You're wasting water.
Oh, we ain't going to waste much. I'm going to hold the water on there. You are 3.5 pounds, roughly, ahead of Roland Martin for the Angler of the Year. And, of course, this is going to make the course very tough for Roland, don't you think?
Well as Roland knows this lake, he's probably got about 18 to 20 pound stringers saved up for today, and I don't feel very confident, to be honest.
You don't feel, when is he coming in? You're in the first flight. What flight is he in?
No, it's come out just right. He's probably the last boat in the last flight.
So you'll have to sweat all afternoon?
I'll have to sweat.
All right, here we go. Let's weigh his catch. This is critical, folks. Angler of the Year race with this basket of fish. 14 pounds even. Let's give him a nice hand, Larry Nixon. Tell me this, I know that you're interested in doing well in this tournament, but the Angler of the Year race is vital. It's like winning the Super Bowl and the World Series as far as being the Heisman, perhaps, on the part of a sportsman. What's it mean to you? You won this award before, but what's the Angler of the Year mean to you this year?
Well, there's only one other angler that's ever won it 3 times or more, and that's Roland Martin. So I've got to overcome that obstacle before I ever have a chance of doing as well as Roland has. You know, he's probably the toughest bass fisherman in the world. And boy, I've worked hard this year, and I sure would hate to lose this.
And now, Rick Klein, the tournament leader and the only B.A.S.S. angler to ever win 3 Bassmasters Classics.
Here he is, folks. The lead of our tournament with 45 pounds, 2 ounces this morning with a limited bass, Rick Klein. Rick is, he has a man behind him by 7 pounds called Roland Martin. Today's weight for Ricky Klein, 11 pounds. Watch it.
12.
Give it a sec. Give it. Count of 5. 1, 2. 11 pounds, 15 ounces. Rick, how do you feel right now? I know the pressure's on you on this tournament. It's a lot of money riding on it, and also the reputation that goes with winning it.
Well, I had about a 7-pound lead going over Roland today, so I've got about 18. He'd have about 18 something. And I figured him good for 20 today, so I figured I needed one more good fish. He's very strong on this lake, and there's nothing to get his juices rolling. Not so much the tournament as being so close to winning Angler of the Year again. That's his biggest thing in fishing, and with that, I really expected I had to have about a 15, 16-pound string today. And I never got bit by any other good fish. You know, I really didn't lose any fish today. I fished the same water. I really, I got every fish that I thought hit me today, so I really don't feel too bad, even though I wish I would have got one more big one.
Well, whatever happened, we'll know in a few minutes, but...
There is only one man left who can decide the outcome of this tournament. And the Angler of the Year race, Roland Martin.
Roland Martin is fixed to come up. This tournament, he's got to have 19 pounds and 5 ounces to tie Rick Klein, who was here a moment ago. Anything over than that, he wins. Anything less than 19.5, he falls to second or below. But one other race he's competing for here is the Angler of the Year race with Larry Nixon, who's already weighed in. And as a result of that previous weight, he's also got to have at least 17 pounds, 6 ounces to tie Larry Nixon for the Angler of the Year. So keep in mind he's got to have 17 or 19, and we'll define it more clearly in just a minute. Here he is, folks. A nice welcome as he comes on. Roland Martin. All-time money went up. All-time Angler of the Year, man. Drain your water. Drain the water till it dribbles. Pull it off. As long as the stream's a steady stream, we got to let it drip. Now she's down to a drip. Now put her on the scale. Roland don't want to weigh water. He can catch fish too easy. You got to have 19 pounds and 5 ounces to tie Klein. He has tied Klein for this tournament with 19 pounds, 5 ounces, but he has pulled ahead of Larry Nixon for the Angler of the Year race. All right, hold it. Let me caution you on something. What about the other weight, Harold? I want to tell you a technicality here. Roland's ticket, let me see that ticket, the clipboard. Roland has 7 bass. This is very unusual. 1 bass is dead. As a result, there will be a 2-ounce penalty for that. As a result, the official weight will be 19 pounds and 3 ounces. Roland, that fish you have killed, you can count the fish you've killed in your tournament career on one hand.
Well, it wasn't that one. It was the 10-pounder I lost about an hour ago. That was demoralizing. I just caught about a 5-pound bass on a little crankbait. I had real sharp hooks and I was using 10-pound line, cranking some rocks down the east end of the lake. And I needed one more fish for the limit. So I said I'd caught a couple 5-pounders there the first day, and I had about an hour or so to fish. So I was cranking that ledge, and all of a sudden this big fish hit, and I thought I was hung on the rocks, and it just shook its head. It finally just came up and wallered. It was 10 or 11 pounds, and I knew I'd probably lost the tournament there.
Well, you actually tied, and then that one fish, they quit breathing.
Well, there'll be another day.
It's over. Rick Klein has just won the Florida Invitational, and Roland Martin has just won his unprecedented 9th Bass Angler of the Year crown. The 1985 Road to the Classic has made its last stop. And for the 35 bass anglers on the 1985 tournament trail, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and the 1985 Bassmasters Classic is the next stop. We'll be taking you there next week, so don't miss it. It's a classic ending. For the Bassmasters, this is Ray Scott.
Lake Okeechobee in South Central Florida, the site of the Bassmasters Florida Invitational, the second stop on the road to the 1987 Bassmasters Classic World Championship. There's been a lot of conversation and rumors in recent months that this huge lake is dying, that it's no longer the fishery it once was. But what you'll see in the next 30 minutes will show the big O is okay for now. Because not only will you see the huge bass this great lake has always been known for, you'll witness an all-time Bass Anglers Sportsman Society record shattered. It's an exciting tournament with a come-from-behind last-minute charge that truly proves it's never over till it's over. Stay tuned. I'm Ray Scott. The Bassmasters will be right back from Big Bass, Okeechobee, and the Florida Invitational.
When the fishing gets rugged, you'd better have the right line that holds up. Stren from DuPont. It's made for the most grueling fishing conditions anywhere. Stren from DuPont. With strength that will survive all the nicks, scrapes, and shocks any fish can throw at you. Stren from DuPont. Your choice of lines with strength you can count on. Stren from DuPont.
The human eye views light in remarkable ways, but often there's more to what meets the eye. For behind the scenes at Ranger, there's a unique commitment to quality which begins long before a boat is built. It starts before the daily inspection of each mold in production. It even precedes the constant testing and evaluation of raw materials. Where the quality commitment does begin is with the ongoing dedication to extensive research, because some things just aren't worth compromising. At Ranger, the focus is on quality.
It has come to change your standards. The new Ambassador by Abu Garcia. The unprecedented design lets you adjust braking for perfect casts, match fishing conditions by changing line in seconds, catch more fish with more casts, even get an entire flipping reel built in. The new Ambassador 521 Plus with a lifetime guarantee. It will change the way you fish. Hellbender, Cardinal, Ambassador, Abu Garcia. Performance you can depend on.
Lake Okeechobee, 730 square miles of bass-infested water that many anglers claim is now the best bass fishery in the world. For 3 days, 294 Bassin pros, local anglers, and rookies on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail will cast or flip every imaginable lure in their tackle boxes into the heavy vegetation that's home to these Florida bass. Regardless of how well some of these anglers know this lake, regardless of how often they fish it, year after year or even day after day, picking a tournament winner is no more predictable than picking the last place man. And there's good reason. Because of the tremendous numbers of really big bass here, one cast on Okeechobee can make an angler a hero, or 7 casts for a tournament limit the last day can possibly move him from 100th place to 1st. The abundance of big bass here amazes even the tournament-wise professional Bassmasters. But that's not to say the fishing is as easy as making a cast and reeling in a fish, because a bass is a bass, and if he wants to eat, he will. If he don't, he won't. And regardless of how aggressively the bass are feeding, getting to them can be a problem, because this lake is filled with places a Bassmaster can't get to. Miles and miles of weed and reed-choked flats that will be a secluded home to some bass for a lifetime. Areas so inaccessible that bass can live and die there without ever seeing an artificial lure come by their nose. Places where the bass share the weeds and grass and bulrushes with the herons and rails and alligators and wild shiners. Day 1, and Okeechobee could not be more beautiful. Clear and calm, great for tourists, but tough for bass anglers. While many of these fishermen will weigh in a 7 bass limit today, the majority of the fish will be small, many just reaching the 12-inch minimum length limit. And there's a reason. Although every bass angler is always fishing for a big fish, it's a fact that deliberately trying to catch 7 small bass is a better, more predictable tournament game plan. Going for just big fish is a big gamble, because these older, heavier bass are less predictable and less abundant. A favorite game plan on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail is to first get a limit of legal size keeper bass and then go for the lunkers, culling the smaller fish. It's a good bet that a limit of bass each day anchored with a big fish will put you in the money. Regardless of philosophies and game plans, the only thing that really matters is what takes place at the weigh-in. Like now, as Texas angler Dave Fenton comes to the scales this first day.
All right, watch the scale, folks. Great weight. 18 pounds, 8 ounces. Check it again. Check it again. Let's make sure. It pivoted one time. I want to make sure. 18 pounds, 8 ounces on the money. Let's give him a nice hand. We want to weigh the largest bass because he has, look at this fish, folks. Would you look at this. Fantastic. Largest bass you've ever caught, Dave?
Yes, sir.
What do you think she weighs?
I don't know. Once they get over about 6 pounds, I can't hardly tell.
We'll find out now. These scales don't lie. Layer it nice and easy and watch the scales, folks. Tighten up on the scale. Let's watch her.
6. Oh.
8 pounds, 15 ounces. Let's give him a nice hand. It's a beautiful fish. He says he wants to release the bass, although it's the largest he's ever caught.
Word travels fast when a big bass is brought in, even bringing B.A.S.S. founder Ray Scott off the weigh-in platform.
That's a hog now. No. Look at this. We're going to go around telling him.
How big a shiner did you get that on?
No, I didn't see any shiner.
I'll let go. I'll tell you what I'll do. Here we go.
How much, Ray? How much?
10.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry. Hold your bag.
And that one's tagged down, didn't it? I need that other one with it. I had another one.
Hold your bag, man. How big is it, Larry?
Oh,
Three and 0.
I need more.
1 pound each.
B.A.S.S. Tournament Director Harold Sharp, filling in for Ray Scott, handles the weighing in of the big fish.
You don't have but 3 bass, all alive, but one of them looks like a whale. To Larry Wright, look at this, 3 bass and the weight.
14 pound 7.
14.7, and we're going to weigh this giant hog. Reach in there and pick him out.
Go 11. I need him to go 11.
What are you going to bet?
I'm hoping 11 pounds.
I'm not going to bet with you. I'm not as good as Ray Scott on this, but for your sake, I hope he does go 11. All right, put him in the sack, and we'll tell you in a hurry what he weighs. Put the lid on him and stand back, and everybody look at this. Holy cow. Almost.
10 pounds, 14.
10, 14. That's a big fish for today, right?
Even though Okeechobee is known as a big bass lake, the truth of the matter is that most of the lunkers are caught on wild shiners. And this, as Larry Wright points out, can have adverse effects on tournament fishermen who can only use artificial lures.
I'm a shiner guide. Mainly, I do a lot of shiner fishing on Lake Okeechobee, and people come down here from north and they're wanting a trophy fish. And the best way to get it is shiner fishing. And we're kind of wondering about how it hinders you when it comes up to keeping up with the artificial fish for tournaments. And it is a definite problem. I've seen it for the last 6 years since I've been down here full-time guiding. And you can sit right in there and just watch fish tearing shiners up, and you can throw top water plugs, spinner baits, and worms, anything you want to, and they won't touch it. And it's a definite hindrance. It's just, I can blame a lot of it in the wintertime when I'm guiding pretty regular. I just can't keep up with those artificial fish, and it hurts you. If you're going to fish full-time tournaments, you kind of need to lay them shinies aside every now and then. But as far as catching big fish, watching that bobber is tough to beat now.
Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back with more exciting tournament action from the Florida Invitational and a look at the super productive technique of shiner fishing. Don't go away.
You know, not many fishermen will ever catch a record-breaking lunker like this 20-pounder, but everyone can be a better bass fisherman. I'm Ray Scott, the president of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, and I'd like to help you be the best fisherman you can possibly be through our Bass Society and our publication, the Bassmaster magazine. As a member of Bass, you'll enjoy 9 big issues of Bassmaster each year. Every single issue is loaded with valuable bassing tips and tactics and how-tos to help you catch bigger bass and more of them. Plus, we'll send you your very own membership packet, including a membership card, decal, handbook, and this handsome embroidered patch. And right now, I've got an extra special get-acquainted gift for you when you join Bass. It's a big bonus tackle pack, including a spool of strand line, a pack of Mann's auger tail worms, an LC spinnerbait, and a supply of true turn brood hooks. And there's more. If you act right away, I'll also include a free copy of Jackpot Bassin for a grand total value of $9.95. That's right, it's all absolutely free. Our gift to you with your $15 paid membership. Now, here's all you have to do to join Bass and enjoy your free gifts. Call toll-free 1-800-543-1300 or write Tackle Pack, P.O. Box Bass, Montgomery, Alabama 36141. Major credit cards are accepted, and remember, we guarantee your satisfaction or your money back. That number again, 1-800-543-1300.
Wild shiner fishing can be habit-forming. Of all the techniques known for catching really big bass, fishing with the big minnow is without question the most productive. Watching your bobber go under and knowing something just ate a 10-inch shiner is heart-stopping. It's not always a 10-pounder, but it could be.
Open them out. Just like the B.A.S.S says.
Yeah, they're nice fish. They got clean. The fish moved in here with that heavy wind. Come out of that pepper grass. See how clean they are?
Fish are hungry.
Yeah, they're eating it. Eating it now, aren't they? See those pliers? How deep is it?
Deep.
When it comes to equipment for shiner fishing, most anglers prefer a 7 to 7.5 foot stiff rod, similar to a flippin' stick, and a casting reel filled with 25 to 40 pound test line. The hooks and floats are unique.
Just let him work around there a little bit. It's a 5/0 Kale hook, regular shiner hook. And it's got a feature on it so that when that shiner's swimming around, that crook in it, it kind of lays back on the shiner's head there and doesn't get in the way of everything when he's swimming around in there. And it'll set better on the fish. And the balloons, we found using them a lot of advantage to them in the reeds. They don't get hung up in the reeds like a regular cork float will. They'll kind of just collapse or break or tear off or whatever in those reeds in there, and the fish can just pull them right on through without it snagging and getting hooked up in there.
For tournament anglers who pass these shiner fishermen along the reeds watching them pull out big bass, it's frustrating. Because as we said, B.A.S.S tournament rules permit only artificial lures to be used. When day 2 of the Bassmaster Florida Invitational began under clear skies, only 5 pounds separated the top 10 anglers. Floridian Jim Bitter was 1 pound 4 ounces ahead of Dave Fenton, winner of the recent New York Invitational. And Texas great Rick Klein, who won this tournament in 1984, was only 6 ounces behind Fenton and on down the line. For many of these Bassmasters, the fish-catching pattern seems to be the same, even for Tennessee angler John Butler in 49th place.
So far this morning we've had good luck. We both got a limit, and the secret of what we've been doing is we fished these reed lines where they were where another type of grass ended and you only had slick reeds, either pepper grass or eel grass, but it stopped and went into a slick reed right there is where we found the fish this morning. And it was where the changes were in the type of grass cover that we caught most of the fish. So that seemed to have been the secret this morning, is finding the change in the grass. So that's what we've done, and so far we're right happy with it.
And there's someone else who's pleased with his day's work.
David Fenton, who's in second place going into the second day. And I noticed in the New York tournament. All right, we have, I noticed, a limit of 7 bass, and the weight today, 11 pounds, 13 ounces. That's going to keep you right up there, don't you think?
Yeah, Ray, I couldn't get bit by big fish today. I think that there's so much boat traffic where I got bit yesterday that the fish have moved further back in there, and you just can't get to them.
Back in the grass?
Yeah, way back in the grass. Yesterday they were on the outside of it a little bit.
Well, tomorrow's the last day now. You got to go. You're going to stay in the top, but you're going to be right up near certainly toward the lead within the next few minutes. We'll know for sure, but tomorrow is the day. You got to get that big bass tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to get bit by a big fish tomorrow.
Right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Dave.
As the second day weigh-in concludes, one thing is apparent. It's still anybody's ball game. Only 10 pounds, 2 ounces separate the new leader, Dave Fenton of Texas, and the 60th place man, Woo Daves of Virginia. It's conceivable that most anyone down to 100th place can still win this tournament. Stay tuned as the Florida Invitational takes a surprising turn in the final moments of this $137,500 fish-off. The Bassmasters will be right back from the Big O in Clewiston, Florida.
If it's fish, it's red. It's that simple. Now, from Humminbird, the ultimate in fish-finding technology, LCR-4ID, the depth sounder that positively identifies fish. Structure and bottom appear in black. Fish are bright red. Plus, stronger signals from bigger fish appear as a black dot behind a red dot. And it has all the features that have made the LCRs famous. Humminbird LCR-4ID. It positively identifies fish.
I'm Ray Scott, the president of the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society, and I've got a special invitation for you to join America's finest fishing organization and enjoy a lot of the exclusive member benefits, including your own subscription to Bassmaster magazine. You get 9 big issues a year. Each and every one is packed with valuable bass and tips and how-tos. And right now, I've got an extra special get-acquainted gift for you when you join our society. It's a big bonus tackle pack and includes a spool of string line, a pack of man's auger tail worms, an LC spinnerbait, and a supply of famous True Turn brood hooks. And that's not all. If you act now, I'll also send you a free copy of Jackpot Bassin' for a grand total value of $9.95. That's right, it's all absolutely free with your $15 paid membership, and here's all you have to do.
Call toll-free 1-800-543-1300. Major credit cards accepted. And remember, we guarantee your satisfaction or your money back. That number, 1-800-543-1300.
The third and final day of the Bassmaster Florida Invitational. This afternoon at the final weigh-in, the top 60 anglers will share in $137,500 prize money. But that's 8 angling hours away. And for some of these tournament anglers, it will be a very long day. First day leader Jim Bitter, now in second place, is fishing almost within shouting distance of the weigh-in area. He continues to pound the bulrushes and grass with topwaters and worms, and like many this final day, can only connect with the smaller fish. First place angler David Fenton isn't faring much better. He and his partner John Butler, who's now in fourth place, elect to fish the area where Butler got his limit early yesterday. The fish have either moved or they're not biting. The 2 Bassmasters relocate to where Fenton caught his fish, but that area too has dried up. What fish there are small. But someone, somewhere, will always catch the bass.
So here comes George Bowman making his challenge for the lead. He's about half a pound or so out. He has only 6 bass, but he's got an inordinately, he got one very, very good bass there, which could be the magic. Let's watch the scale. He's got to have about 10, 12 pounds. 12 pounds, 11 ounces, and that's going to be awful close depending on what the other fellas do, George. What's your feeling right now?
Somebody will probably come from behind and blow me away.
You don't really believe that.
Well, I don't know. You know, there's a lot of people to come yet, so we just have to wait and see.
Well, that's a nice fish. That's the magic. That fish right there, if you win this tournament, that's the fish that did it.
That's right.
What lure were you using to catch that bass?
Tony want a red comfort shad worm.
Shallow water.
Yeah, about 5 foot, 4 or 5 foot.
You ought to kiss that bass. All right. Good luck. We hope you wait home.
And from the back of the pack in 60th place, Woo Daves.
Look out here. 21 pound, 5 ounce. Let's hold that hog out of there. Is that the largest stringer for today? I believe it is. This could be the largest bass for today. What is the largest bass we're looking for? 8? Hold him up there. All right, let's check him out here and see. Put the lid on him. All right, going for the big bass today. 9 pound, 8 ounces. Congratulations. Now, this is the last day. I know you can tell everybody what you caught these on. It ain't no secret anymore.
I used a red shad-colored worm, 7 1/4 inches long. That's it.
And George Bowman's fears are realized.
Charlie Murphy, Florida, 7 bass. Murphy? All right, watch. If you notice, the 7th place man, 22 pounds and 9 ounces. Bob Cobb, before we put him on the scale, quickly give me a rough estimate.
He needs 14 pounds, 13 ounces to tie George Bowman.
14 pounds and how much? 13 ounces will tie the leader, who at the moment is George Bowman. All right, let's put him on the scale. 18 pounds, 9 ounces, which if I'm not, this is unofficial, but I believe you pulled into the lead.
I appreciate it.
Now, I know you got one dear friend in there that called about a 5.5, 6.5 pound bass.
I was glad to see her when she came in. I got rid of a 12-incher with her, so.
You caught a small one and pick her up and hold her there with your right hand and kiss her like you mean business. Woo! Lord. That's solid gold. You realize what kind of, we're talking thousands of dollars worth of fish. Let's weigh this fish so the record will show what the weight of your largest bass was. Nice and gentle, layer in there. Folks, this one magic cast can be the difference in glory and just another man on the list. And there she is. Look, 6 pounds, 13 ounces. And look, caught a little bitty fish. So it's a 5-pound advantage he picked up on that one bass. You want to tell us quickly what you were using to catch that beautiful fish?
Well, I caught her on a grape shad culprit.
Fishing what type water?
Flipping in hydrilla.
How you feel right now, pal?
Shaky.
Well, you know we got a few more guys coming in, but you've pulled into the lead.
I just hope it stays that way.
Well, for your sake, I hope so. I know everybody's pulling for you, so let's wish you well. Stand over there and don't tremble so much. I can feel the quivers in your body. Let's give him a nice hand, folks. That's super. We hope you hold the lead.
And the champion of the Bassmaster Florida Invitational, Charlie Murphy. His first B.A.S.S. tournament victory worth $32,000. And for the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, a new record number of bass caught, 4,267. And the highest total of tournament limits, 355 7-bass daily limits for the 3 days.
Go ahead and take the trolling motor.
And now it's time for the pros pointers, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. The techniques Charlie Murphy and George Bowman used to catch their bass were similar, but there is a difference, as the new champion and runner-up explained the next morning.
I could have used her yesterday. Well, George, you can see how this matted stuff is back in here with these reeds and all. Every now and then you can catch an opening back in there, but I found out during practice and during the tournament itself, the best thing to do is just right at the edge of it and just catch a stem of grass, or preferably hydrilla was my key factor with hyacinths on top of it. But anything you could catch sticking out at the edge to flip your worm back behind to where the worm would fall straight down beside the cover. And when the fish didn't hit it on the drop, you just had to more or less dead worm it. This technique would be called, I imagine. Because you just let it lay, and then after 15, 20 seconds, you just barely raise your rod, just enough to raise the worm off the bottom a little bit, and then just let it fall back down and lay there for a little while longer. Did that probably 3 to 4 times. If nothing happened, you knew nothing was there, because usually the second or third time he took it. Is this basically the same pattern you had, George? Or?
No, I was fishing some of this type pattern, Charlie, but most of my fish came casting with a long cast and use a flipping stick where you could get a good hook set.
Right.
A regular rod just wouldn't have the enough power at the end of the line to set your hook. So I was holding off the reed line, bulrush, the hollow buggy whip type.
Right.
And casting back into the heavy cover to the edge of it and swimming out. And up here close to where you were at, there was some hydrilla growing out from those buggy whips. And the fish seemed to be in the scattered buggy whips between the hydrilla and the scattered buggy whips.
Mm-hmm.
And I just throw back where it was thick and just kind of swim the worm back out to the hydrilla. When I feel a hydrilla, I just pick it up, throw it right back in there. But swimming it real slow. I drop it and then pick it, let it sit there just a minute and then pick it up and swim it out.
Was you using any special type of rig for swimming it, or?
No, well, I was pegging it, I pegged my worm because we were pulling it through a lot of trash,
Mm-hmm.
So to keep from pulling it down all the time, I toothpick that worm and swim her out.
So you was just basically using a
ribbon tail worm that was Texas rigged and slow cranking it in.
Here it is, Bassmasters, your free gift when you join Bass on this special TV offer. It's a bonus tackle pack that includes a spool of string line, a pack of man joggertail worms, an LC spinnerbait, and a supply of true term brood hooks. Plus, we'll send you a free copy of Jackpot Bassin' for a total value of $9.95. Call toll-free 1-800-543-1300. All right, tackle pack, Post Office Box Bass, Montgomery, Alabama 36141. Major credit cards accepted, and your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back.
Next week, we'll be headed all the way across the country to the west, to California's Clear Lake. We'll be fishing with Bassmaster Gary Klein as he shows us California-style bassing. It's a place where bass grow big and they chase bait into the shadows of volcanoes and gold mines. It's a great show. Don't you miss it. For the Bassmasters, this is Ray Scott, and we'll see you next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by the new 1988 Chevy full-size pickup, a whole new animal. Ranger boats, we still build them one at a time. Abu Garcia, performance you can depend on. AC Delco, the smart parts. Humminbird, the ultimate in fish finding technology. DuPont fishing lines, the choice of champions. Ziploc storage bags, protection from the great outdoors. And by the Bass Angler Sportsman Society.
the next half hour, you'll see one of the most unusual and exciting tournaments we've ever held, the Bass Pro-Am, a first in Bass Angler Sportsman Society competition. You'll see 100 of the top pros in the country and 100 amateurs competing for $368,000 on what is regarded as the best big bass lake in the country, Lake Okeechobee. It's an exciting tournament, and for one angler, really exciting. He's going to win $100,000 in cash and awards. And I'm Ray Scott. You should stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back.
There's one sure thing in bass country. The faster you get to the fish, the more time you can spend catching them. And nobody understands fast like Evinrude. We engineer performance into every outboard we make. No wonder Evinrude's first to the fish. In fact, the only way to catch one is at your Evinrude dealer.
Ranger boat, nothing beats the feet another running the one known far and wide. Ranger boat, just ask a friend who owns one, he'll be glad to tell you why. If your time on the water's important to you, let those special moments come through for peace of mind and quality too. Nothing less than a Ranger will do. We still build them one at a time. Ranger boats.
What has the highest contrast and the widest screen available? Hummingbird's new LCR 4x6. It maximizes your field of vision. A 6-inch widescreen for more information, plus split-screen features. And just 7 buttons for simple control, with your adjustments clearly displayed on the screen. Advanced technology has never been easier to use. Of course, like all LCRs, it's completely automatic and completely waterproof. New from Humminbird, the LCR 4x6.
When the fishing gets rugged, you'd better have the right line that holds up. Stren from DuPont. It's made for the most grueling fishing conditions anywhere. Stren from DuPont. With strength that will survive all the nicks, scrapes, and shocks any fish can throw at you. Stren from DuPont. Your choice of lines with strength you can count on. Stren from DuPont.
Lake Okeechobee, the huge Florida lake regarded by many fishermen as the finest bass fishery in the country. As competition begins this first day in the B.A.S.S. Pro-Am, the professional anglers in the front of these sleek bass rigs are competing differently than they usually do on the Bassmaster tournament trail. These pros have total control of the boat, deciding where they want to fish, and they're not competing against their amateur boat partner. During regular pro tournaments, two anglers share the fishing decisions and compete against one another. In this tournament, the pro is not competing with his boat partner, but instead against the other pros. The amateurs who must fish from the back of the boat compete within their own division. The pros paid a $3,000 entry fee, and the winner will receive $100,000 in cash and awards. The amateurs paid $300, and the top-ranked backseater, after 4 days of competition, will win a fully rigged $17,000 Ranger bass boat. But what really makes this fishing trip different for the amateurs is that they're fishing with the top pros in the country. They like the tournament format, and so do the pros.
Rick, I'm curious to know what you think about having a partner in the back of the boat that doesn't in any way discuss what's happening. You do the full day as far as planning and picking spots and so on. How do you like this concept?
I don't think there's any concept that's any more that we have currently that'll ever be any more equal for everybody involved in the tournament. The only one other tournament that's this equal, and that's a classic. So where a guy gets to fish at his pace all day, he doesn't have to psychologically worry about his partner, you know, as far as his partner pulling him off the water at a key period or vice versa. And so I think it's going to help a lot of guys really fulfill their potential fishing-wise, I think, if they're allowed to fish at their pace all day long.
While this is a Pro-Am event, many of the backseat anglers are skilled fishermen in their own right. And it's obvious at this first day weigh-in that the amateurs can compete. At the end of the first day's competition, Missouri's Denny Brower, 1987 B.A.S.S. Angler of the Year, leads the pro field with 21 pounds 7 ounces. The time is early November. Some of the bass have started their move to shallow water in preparation for the spawn, but the majority of the bass are being caught in open water, over and around weed beds and vegetation lines like professional angler Roland Martin is fishing. Denny Brower caught fish today, but it's another angler who makes the big move.
Look here, folks. Ron Shuffield of Arkansas with a limited bass. What was your weight yesterday? I can't recall.
11 pounds, 15 ounces.
11-15, folks. Watch these scales. This is a remarkable catch. 27 pounds, 2 ounces.
I'd like to weigh the two big fish, right?
We'll weigh. You reach in it, folks. I want you to watch him pull them out. Pull them out one at a time. Look at these fish. This is Okeechobee, folks, a God-made lake. Nothing in the world like it. We got other big bass to show. These are the two biggest. This will blow the roof off of this. He's the leader. You forget it. He's the leader in this tournament. All right, one at a time. Let's weigh the biggest one first. What's this fish gonna weigh?
I hope she weighs 9 pounds.
Boy, I hope so too. Be a skosh light, but it won't miss much. By golly, look at it. 9 pounds, 3 ounces. Let's give him a hand. 9-3. Now let's move that one out. Nice and easy, and lay this next one in here. She's a nice fish herself. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, I'm excited.
6 pounds 12.
I'm excited right now.
You ought to be, man. You lead this tournament, and I want to congratulate you. You got 2 more days to hold the lead, though.
Yeah, well, that's going to be tough to do, right? Among these bunch of fishermen.
I'd like to ask you one question. How far apart geographically were these 2 big bites you had, these 2 big bass?
About 100 yards.
May I ask where you're going to start tomorrow morning?
I'm not going to start there in the morning, Ray. I'm going to fish it up in the day. The fish there that are biting, I don't think were really biting very, very good early. The cloud cover that came in this afternoon is what made these big fish turn on for me today. Because I didn't catch anything. I had about a 12 or 13 pound limit before the cloud cover moved in, and I pulled in And the big fish turned on. That's all I can say.
No point in my asking what you caught the fish on. You wouldn't share that with me, would you? You don't have to.
No, I probably won't.
Okay, well, I won't ask you then.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's have a nice hand, folks. Ron Sheffield, a great day, spectacular day, one of the big catches of the tournament.
Stay tuned as the weather changes, the winds roar, and the B.A.S.S. Pro-Am competition heads into the third day. The Bassmasters will be right back.
Chevy S10 invites you to own this real estate with the biggest engine ever offered in a compact 4x4. The most V6 power and torque available in a compact truck. V6 power to make your heart beat faster than ever.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
Well, Sophie, we're going to do all right with my new Remington 1187. See, now we can shoot light field loads and 3-inch magnums back to back. And I don't have to change a thing. That should help us get a few ducks in the freezer. Okay, girl? Now let's say you and I kick up some pheasants over at Johnson's place. Why, I can even get another barrel for deer. Of course, you got to stay home on that trip, Soph.
Bass fishing is a great thrill, and part of the fun is getting ready to go. The Bass Anglers Sportsman Society wants you to be the best bass fisherman you can be. So join our society and receive lots of exclusive member benefits, like your own subscription to Bassmaster magazine. You get 10 big issues a year, each packed with great tips on how to and where to catch bass. Plus, you'll get a membership packet with your own membership card, a decal, a handbook, and a handsome embroidered patch. So join now, and we'll send you this TV offer, a big bonus tackle pack filled with a spool of string line, man's new manipulator lure, a bass spinnerbait, and a supply of true turn brood hooks. And listen, there's more. If you phone now, you'll also get a free copy of Jackpot Bassin', a total value of $9.95. And all of this is yours free with your $15 paid membership. So call right now. Grab the phone, 1-800-543-1300. That's toll free, 1-800-543-1300.
Although Arkansas pro Ron Sheffield holds more than a 7-pound lead heading into the third round, that's not really a comfortable margin on Lake Okeechobee, a place where 5- and 6-pound bass don't even make the papers. Sheffield is fishing crankbaits, plastic worms, and spinnerbaits in an area called the West Wall, less than a 10-minute run from the takeoff area at Roland Martin's Marina in Clewiston, Florida. And the wind is up. Denny Brower, now in second place, faces the same conditions a few miles down the lake, as does George Cochran, the 1987 Bassmasters Classic World Champion. While many anglers believe fishing from the front of the boat is an asset, it can be just the opposite when boat control is a problem. And sometimes it's better from the back, even when anchored.
Roland Martin, folks, with a limited bass. Now, Roland, you in what position? Roland's in 10th place with 26 pounds and change. And the weight today, 12 pounds and 2 ounces, Roland. Now, how'd your partner do?
Well, he has a big one, about 6 or 7 pounds, and another one about 3 pounds. I imagine he has 13 or so pounds. He has 5 fish. But
you know, you used to guide years and years and years ago, and apparently you did that today.
Well, no, actually, I was trying to catch every fish I could. I would rather have caught those fish. The way I anchored, I don't mean to be detrimental to my partner, but I anchored so that I could have the best shot, you know. You're
not famous for lying, are you?
Well, he had about a crummy shot, but even then he caught the biggest fish.
Let's get him up here. Won't you stand here? Let's wait and see what this man of marvels does. We're looking here to Charlie Hughes of Mississippi with 5 bass for the back of the boat. And look at his blind side. Charlie, watch this creel here. 13 pounds and 10 ounces, folks. Let's give him a great hand. That is one more beautiful catch. Pull out the big bass here. Let's show it to Roland, and I want you to reach it in and get that fish out. Roland, get a good look at this fish. And
I don't know, but I figured that fish would have put me in about 3rd place.
Well,
if I'd caught it.
Yeah, if you'd have caught it. Well, what was your first words when this bass came aboard?
I'm not going to say that.
What was your first words when you put that bass in the boat? You didn't say, golly, Roland, I wish you'd caught this.
I couldn't say anything. I couldn't believe it.
Day 3 is history as Ron Sheffield weighs in 11 pounds 14 ounces and stays on top. But his lead shrinks as George Cochran brings 13 pounds 14 ounces to the scales. He's only 5 pounds 11 ounces behind Sheffield. Stay tuned for the final countdown when once again weather plays a role and one bass angler makes a last-minute charge for the goal. The Bassmasters will be right back.
Fish these crankbaits right, cast them long, crank them slow, and keep them deep. Fish the new Quantum cranking reel with super size, super strong Magnum gears and 3.8 to 1 retrieve power. Keeps your forearm from wearing down, keeps the deep diving crankbait where it belongs, in the fish. Fish this baby right, fish the 381 cranking reel. It's pure Quantum cranking power by Zebco.
Chevy S10 invites you to own the street with the biggest engine ever offered in a compact pickup. The most V6 power and torque available in a compact truck. And a price to make your heart beat faster than ever.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
Hey, Matt, do you see that bass over there cast? Wow!
Hook on fishing, not on track.
The final round. And for one Bassmaster here, it's going to be a $100,000 payday. Ron Sheffield is back at home in his favorite spot on Lake Okeechobee's west wall, just minutes from the weigh-in site. His lead has shrunk. Sheffield must have bass to realize his first ever B.A.S.S. win. He can't make many mistakes if he's to do it. This one fish could make the difference. The weigh-in scales will tell the tale.
Gary Klein of Texas, folks, 6 bass, a great pro.
I was in 20th.
20th place, folks, and I want to tell you he has moved up in the world. What's the scales for Gary Klein? 22 pounds, 4 ounces, and we got another incredible bunch of fish. Here's a man who also went for broken. Folks, watch this big one come out here. Oh, my gosh. Got to be the biggest bass of the tournament. Got to be. Let's hope. Let's weigh the big bass. Bring those fish back, son, if you don't mind. I want to weigh the others, too. This is, remember, the big bass of the tournament. 9 pounds and 3 ounces, and the scale is loose. Watch it. 9 pounds, 7 ounces, a new record for the tournament. Congratulations to you, Gary.
Thank you, Rick.
And Gary Klein's amateur partner makes his move.
Now, his partner from the great state of Alabama, Joe Bragg. What position were you in with the amateurs yesterday?
7th.
7th place. And today, look at the scales, folks. 16 pounds, 6 ounces. This puts him in the lead among those non-pros. Congratulations to you. What was it like fishing with that character? You ever seen a machine like him in your life?
Right. He's energy in motion. You know, no wasted time. Everything is like it ought to be. It's like the book says it ought to be. And that guy from California knows how to fish Florida water. I'm telling you.
Well, you didn't do bad yourself. Pick your large one out. Let's get a picture of this one here. You got one fish. You just fishing trash and picked up scraps.
That's right. Look at trash water. Trash water.
Now, folks, this is what it's about.
This is what it's all about. I tell you, I play golf too, but you know it ain't like this.
Let's give a good hand, folks. Congratulations to you, Mr. Bragg.
And now the Pro Division leader.
Now, folks, Ron Sheffield, our leader, with 50 pounds and 13 ounces, and he had the weight of the world on him. 7 bass, 1 deceased, which means that whatever weight comes off this scale, there will be a reduction of 2 ounces because of the unfortunate death of one of his fish. He's got to have 7 pounds, 7. Got to have 7 pounds, 7 ounces to take the lead, and watch the scales. 9 pounds, 14 ounces. That puts him back in there. Fire up.
Boy, I tell you what, Ray, I was really worrying today. I thought I'd let this tournament slip right out of my fingers. I lost a shot at least 13 pounds of bass today trying to pull them over the side of the boat. I just too excited and too much of a hurry, but I hope it holds up now. There's still some tremendous fishermen out there waiting to come in right now, and Gary Klein proves how easy it can happen. I've been here before, so I hope it holds up.
Well, this is going to give you at the moment. You still have about a 2-pound lead. Am I correct, Bob Cobb? Sweat it out, my friend.
I'm going to be sweating it. You can bet on that, Ray.
All right, we'll be hoping for you. Tell us briefly, if you would, Ron Sheffield, about your technique. What were you doing that was a little different than you usually use as a technique?
Well, I don't think I've done a lot differently. What I did was took a Bill Lewis rattle trap in 3 different colors, and I just kind of alternated it in one area. I didn't burn 10 gallons of gas probably this entire tournament. I fished right out here on the west wall the whole time. And 2 days ago, when the cloud cover moved in, I moved in because I seen some fish go to breaking in on the edge of the grass. So I picked up a white and chartreuse spinnerbait with a number 5 willow leaf, and I caught that 612 on it and missed another fish. So I took the worm and pitched back in there, and I caught her, and it was the 9-3. And I think the 10, 15 minutes later, I caught another one to go close to 5, and that was over in 30 minutes, and that's about all I did.
That 30 minutes was worth $100,000 to you if you lead holes.
If I win, that 30 minutes won the tournament for me.
And the last round charge. Is it enough?
Now, folks, here's a man, Larry Lazarn. I want to take a quick look. Larry, what position were you in? 6th place. Nice and easy. Folks, let's remember, this catch here could make the difference in several thousands of dollars. And he's in 6th place, and lots of the boys just ahead of him have stumbled, and including Ron Sheffield, who dropped some. Cochran fell out. Bruce is in trouble. And next comes this man, Larry Lazarn, and we'll watch the scales. Bingo. 21 pounds, 3 ounces. Mark it. 21 pounds, 3 ounces. Oh, grab the 2 biggest ones. Get 2 or 3 big ones. I'll grab 1 or 2. But that is what I call bass fishing professional style. He's in 2nd place. This moves him into 2nd place. How much is he out of the lead? Off the winner? 1 pound off the lead with these fish today. That's how much he missed $100,000. 1 pound. That's why he has this expression on his face.
You got there, I lost a giant fish today, and I lost another one, probably 5 pounds, and I lost a real giant. And that's what happens. You can't afford to lose one in a tournament like this, and I knew it cost me.
Well, listen, my friend, put those babies in this, and I want a quick, brief. Do you realize if the tournament's over at the moment, and it's almost over, you have moved up within 1 pound of the leader, Ron Sheffield. Even one of the smaller bass in there, when you didn't have many, just weighing 1 pound more could have meant $100,000.
Yeah, but I had a skinny mini in there, and it just didn't carry me.
How many did you call today?
I've called every day, and my first day was the worst day I had. I think I had 11 pounds, and I just didn't get the big fish bite the first day, and I called probably 2 limits today.
It's a great day. Folks, let's give him a good hand. It's a great sport.
And we have 2 winners. First, the amateur division.
I think this is a very important moment, and I'd like just some reflection from you as to what it feels like to win this affair.
Well, it's unreal. It's like when they say pinch me, when I wake up, but I've realized it is real. It's an experience of my lifetime. It's the biggest thing ever happened in my lifetime. And you got a great thing going with a Pro-Am tournament. I've enjoyed every minute of it with every guy that I fished with. I follow that magazine, read every word in it every month, and then to be a part of it is it's a dream.
Well, I hope it happens to you again. You deserve it. And let's give him a nice hand, folks. We appreciate it. Congratulations to you.
Now the professional champion.
He has a weight today of 60 pounds and 9 ounces collectively for the 4 days. A check for $80,000 cash, plus a beautifully rigged Ranger boat. Let's have a nice welcome, Ron Sheffield.
Thank you. There's your check. I'll hold your boat papers for you. That's what it's all about, right there.
That's right. Hold up over your head high. Folks, let's have a hand for the television as well. Come on. Ron Sheffield, our winner. Ron, this check for $80,000 would go a long way in getting you back home.
Are all the zeros there real? I thank the good Lord for this victory. I tell you what, Ray, this is something that 3 years ago, I borrowed the money from my parents to start fishing your circuit. I lost my job about 5 years ago. I'd read about the Rick Kleins, the Larry Nixons, the heroes of this sport, what it's all about. And this is what it's all about. I was able to be successful enough with the help of Forrest and Nana Wood and Ranger Boat Company to fulfill a dream that I've dreamed about for years and years, which other than reading about it, this is as close as, that was as close as I'd ever get was reading about it. And now I'm standing on the winner's platform. You just don't know what this means to me in my career.
Let's have a nice hand, folks. I think that says it all. Nice hand. Ron Sheffield, congratulations to you.
Thank you, Ray.
God bless you, boy.
Appreciate it.
Now it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters, brought to you by A.C. Delco.
Hi, I'm Charlie Ingram, and I fish a lot of tournaments. In order to fish tournaments successfully, I think you've got to learn how to flip. One thing that I do when I flip, I always peg my sinker. Most people do this with a toothpick, and I've always been worried about that pinching my line. So if you remember, you've seen these old sinkers that's got the rubber in the middle of them, and what I do is take a rubber band like this and break it in half and take a piece of line about this long and I tie the two together. And what that does, it keeps the line from being pinched. I've always thought that if you used a toothpick that, sometime during the day it might cost you a fish, and Lord, we don't need it to cost us a fish when we're fishing tournaments. So what I do is put it together like this and just pull it up there snug and tie the two together like so. And then take that and run the line through the sinker like this. Pull the rubber band up to the sinker and then just pull it through. All right, you see what we're doing here? We're just pulling it through till we get it about midway through or something like that. And we've got it sticking through both ends. Then what I do is take it and stretch it across my knuckles like this. Once I get it stretched across my knuckles, then it allows me to put my 25-pound test line through there with the rubber band already in place. Then I turn it loose and see it's already got it held. Then I take a pair of clippers and I clip each end of the rubber band off like that on this end, and then clip it off on the other end, just where it sticks out just a little bit on each end, not very much at all. This takes a little time to do, but I think it's worth it. If you do it the night before you're fishing a tournament, you fix 2 rods like this, and I don't think you'll have to do it the rest of the day. And then what I do is I'll tie my hook on. Anytime that you break off during the day, all you gotta do is just slip this sinker up the line a little bit, and break off a little bit of line and then retie. All right, and then you just slide the sinker down on the hook like this. And what you got is a very secure way to peg a sinker without having to worry about it pinching your line. And I think you'll get more fish in the boat if you use this.
Nothing's going to put a snag in this fishing trip, not with Delco Voyager batteries on board. Deep cycling to take charge after charge to keep everything humming. We may get skunked, but not marooned, not with these built-in charge indicators.
Delco Voyager batteries, deep cycling, maintenance free.
I'd rather catch fish and get caught up a creek. For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC-DELCO.
Let me tell you, Ron Sheffield is one happy and richer Bassmaster. Next week, we'll be with the master of the Gitsit, Guido Hibden of Missouri. When the bass are stubborn, the bite's slow, and conditions tough, Guido Hibden knows what to throw. And the catch is fantastic. And so is Guido's explanation of how to fish this unique bait. Don't miss it. For the Bassmasters, this is Ray Scott, and we'll see you next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by Evinrude Motors, first in outboards. Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time. Humminbird, the ultimate in fish finding technology. DuPont Prime Plus and Stren Premium Fishing Lines. Chevy Trucks, the heartbeat of America. Today's Chevy Trucks. Remington, makers of fine sporting goods. Zebco Quantum, the choice of serious fishermen. AC Delco Voyager batteries, deep cycling, maintenance-free, and the Bass Angler Sportsman Society.
Today we're at Lake Okeechobee down in Florida for the Top 100. This Pro-Am competition is fast becoming one of the most popular events on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail. It pairs the top 100 touring pros with 100 amateurs for 4 days of big money competition. You'll like the excitement. I'm Bob Cobb for the Bassmasters. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Introducing new Prime Plus Co-Filament, the only fishing line that guarantees you'll catch more fish. Prime Plus is a line within a line with a new, stronger outer shield and a tough, sensitive inner core. Sensitive to feel more fish, stronger to hook and fight more fish. New clear Prime Plus Co-Filament, the line within a line. Now guaranteed, you'll catch more fish or your money back. New Prime Plus from DuPont.
They say this is where the big ones come for breakfast. They say this here spinner will have them jumping in the boat. Well, they convinced me. Now all they gotta do is convince the fish.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything else were as dependable as your Johnson outboard?
Welcome. Today's lesson's about one thing. Fish, and a new way to catch them. I'll spell it out. Sink, crow. Synchro, the new synchro drag reels from Abu Garcia. With the drag system so advanced, it's simple. When fighting a fish, just turn the handle back to instantly reduce drag more than 50%. Forward to return to preset. And what do you get? You get the idea.
Ambassador Synchro Drags, only from Abu Garcia.
The Top 100, a super bassin event that's become a premier competition on the B.A.S.S tournament trail. This unique tournament is a Pro-Am event, pitting the top 100 B.A.S.S pro anglers as they ranked at the end of the season against each other. The pros' boat partners are 100 amateurs who fish against each other. And the bucks are big. For the winning pros, $60,000. The winning amateur takes home a fully rigged bass boat valued at $15,000. This tournament format appeals to both the pros and amateurs for more than one reason. The amateurs, lucky enough to be selected in a random draw, get to fish 4 days with the top-ranked bass anglers in the world. Some of them consider it a 4-day guided fishing seminar. The pros like it because they use their boats, fish where they want to, and have control of the boat during the competition. The amateurs are not allowed to run the boat or fish from the front. The time is middle December here on Florida's huge Lake Okeechobee. A tropical disturbance that moved through earlier in the month left muddy water in several areas and moved the bass. Also, low water has eliminated many of the areas these pros plan to fish. But there are always bass to catch, and these anglers will find them. Missouri's Randy Mosley led after the first day, but that was yesterday.
John Hale in third place in a pro division. 3 pounds behind yesterday's leader. What do you have today? It's a big bag of bass. £14, 3 ounces, and I'm sure that pushes John up in the lead temporarily.
There's another angler in the top 10 who also makes a big move.
9th place, going into the day with 12 pounds 9 ounces. I'm sure John Hale's watching. Biggest string today. Let's hear it for Mark Davis. 16 pounds 8 ounces. Let's hold up a couple of big ones, Mark. Those are big bass, folks. With Mark holding them, they look a little small.
In any B.A.S.S. event, there's more than one pattern that will catch bass. Some of the fish the anglers are catching are pre-spawners. Others are already on the beds. And some, like the bass Mark Davis has been pulling in, are in an area not usually fished by tournament anglers. This deep water ditch, dubbed the Rim Canal, runs around a big area of Okeechobee.
Whew, thank you, Lord.
When Okeechobee is low, many of the bass move from the shallow flats into the deeper water Rim Canal.
These fish I'm catching seem to be coming in here due to the falling lake levels and all. These trees and a lot of laydowns and a lot of underwater cover heads you can't see is holding these fish. And I've beat them pretty hard now for 2 days. But it seems like there's more fish coming in daily. I've noticed that they're getting a lot harder to catch though. I'm changing lures and changing ways of fishing. I'm doing some flipping, I'm doing some casting, I'm doing some pitching. I'm throwing some crankbaits and just trying to change up and show them a lot of different ways. But I kind of think they're going to hold up for today for sure and possibly tomorrow.
Today's leader, John Hale, is fishing an entirely different pattern, opting to concentrate on pre-spawn and spawning bass in the weeds, grass, and bulrushes near Bird Island. And he's doing something a little different.
Most of the guys are using they're flipping these large worms because that's what they hear about down in Florida. But I found that it's a little 6-inch straight curl-tail black neon has really been my best producer. In fact, I've caught every one of my fish on it except for one. I caught one on a black neon lizard. In fact, when I could see the fish on the beds, I'd even bite it off to a 4-incher, just kind of make sure that they got the hook in their mouth.
Regardless of the technique, catchin' is the name of this competition.
Shiners give this fish away. See a lot of them shiners jumping around. You can bet that there's a nest right there. God, come on. That's 7 of them. And I'm proud of every one of them. I thank God for every one of them.
And we'll learn what John's 7 bass weigh when the Bassmasters return. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You know, in the last 20 years, there's been a lot of changes at Ranger. Safety has always been a priority, and today, Ranger is noted for its unmatched flotation features. We've changed interiors dramatically. Hull designs are now so advanced they're patented. And our latest innovation is a revolutionary all-fiberglass transom. There's one thing that hasn't changed, though, and that's our total commitment to quality and value. And you have my word on that.
You know, I really enjoy receiving letters from Bass members like Michael Watson of Illinois. He writes, Bassmaster magazine is the best fishing magazine I've ever read. Before I joined Bass, I had a hard time even catching bluegill. But now I have a hard time getting away from bass. You too can become a better bass fisherman by joining the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. You'll learn the hottest lures and when to use them, how to choose line, fishing strategies for every season, and more in the pages of Bassmaster magazine, our society's official publication. As a member, you'll receive 10 big issues a year along with your own exclusive membership benefits, including this handsome embroidered patch, decal, membership card, and handbook. Plus, if you join during this special TV offer, I'll send you a big free bassing gift. It's a bonus tackle pack filled with a bushwhacker spinnerbait, a spool of Berkeley Trilene XT line, and a pack of Man's auger tail worms. I'll also send you a free copy of Bassin' Magic, our best how-to book ever, a step-by-step guide to the basics of bass fishing, from topwater fishing to depth finders. You'll find everything you need to know to land the real big bass in this basics book. All this brand name tackle and book, a total value of $9.95, are free with your $15 paid membership. Here's all you have to do to join Bass and enjoy all these free gifts. Call toll-free 1-800-543-8000.
While the focus is on the pros, the amateurs are a big part of this tournament, and Alabama's Charlie Steele is a clear leader at this point. And now the leader from the pro ranks.
All right, John Hale, who, by the way, leads the tournament with 29 pounds and 10 ounces, another limited bass. Folks, this man is going to pull out and lead this tournament again, it appears. Mark Davis, however, hasn't come in yet. He is in second place. And the weight, watch the scales, folks. I'll lead up. 11 pounds, 7 ounces. Mark it. 11.7. Hey, listen, can you tell us anything at all? You've got one more day. We want to hold up a few of these fish as we talk. What do you anticipate? Are you fishing different water?
No, I fished the same area for 3 days. It was the first day I had it all to myself, and started in yesterday. A couple of people are on the same area. A lot of local people come in today, and I think got some kind of little club tournament, some kind of little tournament starting tomorrow. I'm looking for a lot of pressure tomorrow. It's got pretty crowded today. The fishing was tougher. The bites were it was just really hard to scratch them out. I stuck most of the fish I stuck today. I put in the boat. I really only lost one fish I stuck, and it was a big one. I let it run. I had to let it run. It got into the bulrushes and snubbed itself up, and I went to get it, and it just had a dead pull when it wrapped up, and it just pulled the hook out. It was 6, 7, 8, 9 pound bass. I'm killing myself on these fish, so I don't know.
We wish you the best. One more day.
And now it's Mark's turn at the scales.
The number 2 man, Mark Davis, 29 pounds and 1 ounce. He was only 9 ounces off the lead. Big Mark had 29 pounds and 1 ounce through yesterday. Watch the scales, people. He may pull in the lead. Mark's a classic contender and a fine angler. Total weight, this will put him in the lead. 13 pounds, 11 ounces. All right. That is a tremendous. Would you mind reaching in here and pulling out a few of these bass and show the folks out there? Folks, he's done a fabulous job. He's moved into the lead without any doubt. Here are 2 of the fish he's got, but he has a total of a 300-pound man. You know, these bass don't look like they're 6-pounders, but they almost are. Mark, can you give me any idea? You think you can catch a limited bass tomorrow?
I'll tell you the truth. I didn't think that this little place I'm catching these fish that would hold up for 4 days, but I believe now.
What do you mean you didn't believe it'd hold up?
Well, yeah, I've caught probably 20 keepers off of it the first day. I've probably caught 15 yesterday, and I've probably caught 7 or 8 today. And the boat traffic and numbers of boats around me is the only thing that's bothering me. There's plenty of fish there. It's just a matter of making them back. But without jinxing myself and saying for sure I can, I have a feeling they might hold up.
How big area is it?
It's a stretch. I'm gonna say it's 300 or 400 yards long, but not all of that's holding fish. There's just little areas on this stretch that's holding them. Just really about an acre of it.
We'll have our television crew out tomorrow watching and see if you can pull it off.
Well, that'll be exciting.
All right, all the best to you. Good luck, Mark Davis. Thank you. Nice hand, folks. Mark Davis, a great angler.
The final day of the top 100, and the competition's tight. Arkansas's Mark Davis returns to his small area on the Rim Canal.
This lake's amazing. I've been sitting here on this tree now. This is the 4th day. I've probably caught 100 or 120 bass off this one tree, and probably have to catch 4 or 5 little ones to catch a keeper. But now and then you'll catch a pretty good fish. I caught one 7-pounder in practice off of it, and I turned her loose and I had to find her again. I'm still looking.
Mark leads, but he needs quality bass for a win.
That didn't help. Thank you, Lord.
Hale returns to his bulrushes and catches bass. But one angler who's absent from his favorite area this last day is Mississippi's Paul Elias. This former classic champ moved into 9th place the second day and into 7th place yesterday. Where he's gone fishing today is a mystery, but you can bet there'll be bass there. Stay tuned for the exciting finale of the Top 100. The Bassmasters will be right back.
Humminbird does it again. TCR, the first high-definition depth sounders. With 455 kilohertz, you actually see more fish in more detail, and even in red. Take control with 7 simple buttons. Just snap the TCR into place. This all-new unit design mounts almost anywhere, and the compact TCR sensor makes transducers obsolete. TCR, absolutely brilliant technology from Humminbird.
The final weigh-in. Charlie Steele is a clear winner in the amateur division. And now John Hale comes to the scales.
All right, here we go. Now, John Hale, folks, in second place with 41 pounds and 1 ounce. He needs 7 pounds and 15 ounces to pull into the lead. Drain that water, every bit of it out now. He needs how much, Bob? 7:15. He will take the lead away from Larry Nixon. And we're talking about big money. We're talking about a lot of money on this tournament. I was just reminded that first prize is $60,000 and second is way down from that. So this could be a $40,000 weigh-in. All right, watch the scales. He's pulled back in the lead, 10 pounds and 1 ounce. John Hale.
It's time for the leader to weigh in. But there's a fisherman in line with a bag of bass the other anglers are watching. Paul Elias.
It takes 8-7 for you to take the lead back. Watch the scales. Not enough. 7 pounds and 10 ounces. Mark it. Folks, that's so close. That's a $35,000. That's about, really, if you add it up, that's about $10,000 a pound. That's what it costs. What could have happened?
Well, I was fishing the Rim Canal, Ray, and I got a lot of big boats running through today. You know, it's Saturday, and folks are out enjoying this pretty weather and all, and that really hurt my fishing. I might have got a little bit too conservative, but I've been catching all my big fish with a jig, and I caught one little fish today on a jig was all, and that had been what was really pulling me through this thing that let me down today. And I just scratched around, and I had that 7th fish on I don't know how many times and never put her in the boat.
The tension builds here as this angler comes to the scales.
Don't be dipping him. Paul Elias, folks, is in there. He's in 7th place, 35 pounds and 1 ounce, and he may well take this lead. It's a possibility. He needs 16 pounds and 2 ounces to take the lead. I got a feeling let's weigh him. We got a new leader, 18 pounds and 5 ounces. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. I tell you, Ray, I want to win this thing more than anything in the world, but I don't deserve to. I fished terrible today. I was in a lot of fish, and
hold up a couple of them while you tell us about it. Listen, folks, this is incredible. Coming down from 7th place now. This shows you what can be done on Lake Okeechobee. Paul Elias. He's one of our classic champions of the past, in the all-time winning crowd of our tournament trail. He's the new leader unless somebody else. We've got Lonnie Stanley and some others to come in. But at the moment, we have a new leader. Yeah, let's weigh in, by all means. Well,
every time I'd lose one, I'd say, Paul, you big dummy, there goes 50 grand. I couldn't stand it. I don't know what I was doing wrong.
weigh that big fish. Let's weigh his biggest fish and see what his 7 bass creel did for him. Big bass, and this puts you over the top. 5 pounds and 3 ounces. That was a $50,000 bass.
That was my 5th fish today. I tell you, I caught 6 fish where I'd been fishing.
Hold him up. Let him hold it. Look at that fish and kiss it and caress it. All right, watch this, folks. I love it. $50,000 worth of fish, all out of Lake Okeechobee. Is that enough shots for you? All right. Listen, we want to ask you one quick question. We'll take a second, but while we're on camera and you feeling high as a Georgia pine, what in the world did you do today? I mean, you were down there, you're in the jungles. You're down in 7th place, in reach, but still 7 pounds, and that's a tough route in this lake. What did you do? Tell me what happened.
Well, Ray, I found an area the second day. I kind of messed up the first day. I only caught 4 fish. I was trying to fish for big fish, and I caught 4 that weighed 8.5 pounds. And I went back the next day and just figured I needed to catch me about 12 pounds a day, and I caught 13 pounds the next 2 days. That area kind of messed up on me today. Well, it didn't. I caught that 5-pounder and 5 other fish. But I had an area that I was waiting on some wind, and we had some wind this morning, and because I'd found it before the cutoff, and there was some good fish in there. And so I went in there while the wind was still blowing, and they were in there good. I probably should have been in there all week.
Oh boy, let's give a nice hand, folks. Here's our new champion right here. All right, good luck to you, Paul Elias.
Most of the top contenders have weighed in, but the time remaining is filled with tension for Paul Elias because he knows it's never over till it's over. But now, it's over.
Our winner, and not a big surprise, from Laurel, Mississippi, Paul Elias. Let's bring him up, folks. Paul, I got it. Here is your plaque for the top 100 Super Bass Pro-Am tournament here on Lake Okeechobee. I know you're as proud of that as you can be, particularly coming from the ashes almost.
I tell you, Ray, it's been a long time coming. It's been 5 years since I won one of these things, and I came awful close to the Classic a couple years in a row, and I just was wondering, it was going through a mental deal there whether I was going to ever win one again. So at least I got over that. So praise the Lord.
And how did Paul find his $60,000 bag of bass?
I found these fish before the cutoff. I came down here and fished with a friend of mine for 2 or 3 days, and we had that major storm blow in from the Gulf over there, and the fish kind of turned on the day before that storm came, you know, and I found them in this area in the pads, but virtually what seemed to be the key to the pattern was like this area over here, we got thicker pads with hydrilla growing in it, and this section of pads right here doesn't have any hydrilla. It's got a little bit of eelgrass mixed in, but there was some clumps of floating hydrilla and cabbage matted up in these pads, and we caught some real good fish underneath those mats because you could drop your lure down through it, and then it was open water and the fish were under there shading and stuff and hiding. But the storm blew all that stuff out of this patch of pads, so I lost a little confidence in it, but came over here and practiced, and we didn't have much wind. I got a few bites, but I felt like the fish were here, but I thought it was going to take wind to catch them. So I waited till the last day. I found a good area of fish somewhere else, and I fished them for 3.5 days. And the last day the wind got up, and once I felt like those fish had died over there, I came over here, and it paid off.
Well, you were running straight across the lake every day by compass, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, Chuck. And if it hadn't been for that compass, I couldn't have ever got over here.
Fog.
Yeah, the fog. The last day, the fog was so ridiculous. It would have probably taken me 2 hours to get here. You know, but it worked out. I had a compass reading on the area, and I just had to believe in the compass and held true, you know, and I came right in on the area. So there's no way to, all these major lakes that we fish, a man's foolish not to have a compass on his boat. And he's foolish not to go ahead and get his compass readings during practice and make sure he's going to be able to come out and get to his area, you know, in case we do have thick fog one morning.
Get him, Eli. Good one?
Right now it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters, brought to you by AC Delco.
I really believe that one of the things that entitled me to win this tournament was the use of a worm rattle in the head of my plastic worm. A lot of people don't use these things, and they're very important, especially, I found, especially around grass fish. And basically all you have to do is take the point of your hook and insert it about a ½ inch from the head of the worm and make a little channel for the rattle. Then take the rattle, which already has a point, and stick it right into the little channel you made, and then use your hook to go ahead and insert it down into the worm. Then just take your worm and rig it regular Texas style, Bring the point of the hook out just above the rattle, work it up, and bring it back in. That way you've got the rattle in between the point of your hook and the head of your worm. Rig your worm like this and you'll catch a whole bunch more fish. You know, most people when worm fishing use the traditional bullet-shaped weight. Well, there's another weight on the market made by water gremlin called a needle nose weight. And this weight, when fishing vegetation, any kind of thick grass or lily pads or anything like that, comes through the vegetation a whole lot easier. It entitles you to get more bites. Anytime that you can work your weight through the vegetation and not yanking on the vegetation all the time because your weight's hanging up, you're going to get more strikes. These weights come in the same sizes as the traditional bullet-shaped weight, and you need to adapt the size weight that you're fishing with to the conditions that you're fishing in. Try the needle nose weight. It'll catch you a lot more fish.
When it comes to fishing, everything's got to be just right, from what goes on the end of my line to what goes in the bottom of my boat. For me, that's Delco Voyager batteries with built-in charge indicators. Deep cycling and high cranking the whole time I'm out.
Delco Voyager batteries. Deep cycling, high cranking.
No other batteries get on board my boat. For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC-DELCO.
A great win for Paul Elias, and he sure deserved it. Now next week we'll be up in northern Florida for some big bass angling. And you'll see it all, from the strike to the release. For the Bassmasters, I'm Bob Cobb. Hope to see you all next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by DuPont Power Lines, Stren, Prime Plus, and new Magnathin and Magnum 1440. Johnson Outboards. Wouldn't it be nice if everything else were as dependable as your Johnson outboard? Abu Garcia, world's finest fishing tackle. Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time. Humminbird, absolutely brilliant technology. AC Delco, automotive parts that don't just fit, they match. And the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society, the world's largest fishing society.
That's the first one.
Today we're at one of our favorite bassin spots, Lake Okeechobee near Clewiston, Florida. Although it's the middle of winter in most places of the country, the bass here are starting their spring thing, the spawn. And as usual, the fishing and the catching is great for these pro anglers. And with $175,000 on the line, this Florida Invitational is going to be exciting. I'm Bob Cobb. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back from Lunkerland.
Gliding through the early morning mist and fog, only glimpses of the new day are possible. But as the sun rises higher, a dramatic new angling experience is unveiled, presenting the Comanche 400 series from Ranger. With totally redesigned aerodynamic styling, there's a new level of distinction on the water today. And the contemporary design, exhilarating performance, as well as unmatched attention to detail, all add up to a clear choice for the ultimate on-the-water experience.
Out here, the sea has an impact on most men and their desires to do battle with a great fish. The outcome of the battle will be determined by the stamina of the fisherman and how well his equipment will endure. The most critical connection in this battle between fish and man is a strong new fishing line developed by DuPont called High Impact. When it comes to catching a great fish, man now has the advantage. Woman, too. High Impact, only from DuPont.
Humminbird does it again. TCR, the first high-definition depth sounders. With 455 kilohertz, you actually see more fish in more detail, and even in red. Take control with 7 simple buttons. Just snap the TCR into place. This all-new unit design mounts almost anywhere, and the compact TCR sensor makes transducers obsolete. TCR, absolutely brilliant technology from Humminbird.
Florida's Lake Okeechobee, midway stop on the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's Invitational Tournament Trail. A $175,000 fish-off worth $34,000 to the winner. Big, sprawling Lake Okeechobee, a regular stop on the B.A.S.S tournament trail for the past 9 years. Not only is the fishing great, it's consistently great. But this time, contestants are facing an obstacle unfamiliar to most of them here: very low water. The low water situation creates problems for these tournament anglers, the biggest of which is the loss of fishing time, because they must slowly maneuver to reach their fishing spots. The low water has also bunched up the bass and the anglers. For many of the 313 contestants, the catching is fast and furious this first day, as schools of small bass are located in shallow, grassy areas. While the fishermen are using plastic worms, jigs, spoons, and spinnerbaits, vibrating lipless crankbaits are paying off big, as they usually do on grass-filled Okeechobee. But a 7-fish daily limit of 12-inch keeper bass won't win this 3-day tournament. The prediction is it will take better than 50 pounds to pull off first place. That's 17 or more pounds of bass daily. And with the bass biting, you can bet that may happen.
Denny's recently coming back from a few days hiatus with a back operation. He's back in action and strong. I want to watch the scales, folks. Denny Brower has put it on him. 23 pounds, 4 ounces. How about that? Let's hold up a couple of big ones, Denny. That is strong, buddy. He's asleep. All right. Let's weigh the big bass. 6 pounds, 7 ounces. Denny, you've been away for a couple of tournaments now. How's it feel to get back in action and come in with this kind of catch?
Well, this is rather rare for me on Okeechobee. I normally have trouble down here, so I was tickled to death to catch fish like that. I've got a little ground to make up. Maybe I fished a little harder. I don't know.
What's it look like for the next 2 days for you?
Well, this lake, you're capable of catching a stringer like that every day, but for some reason the fish move around quite a bit, and if you're fortunate to get a big bite or two, you can repeat. But past history down here has taught me that it's just as easy not to weigh any in.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Great score. Glad to see you back in such good shape.
If there's one favorite here, it's got to be all-time great Roland Martin of Clewiston. What are his predictions on this tournament?
We've had 3 stringers, I think, over 20 pounds brought in already today. You think that'll hold up for the next 2 days? People can produce that kind of weight? We're looking at 60 pounds in for a 3-day tournament.
Yeah, but if you look at those top 3 stringers, you'll see that they all had a 6 or 7 or 8 pound bass, which I didn't have. You know, I felt like I'll get one of those size fish in the next 2 days, and I'll hopefully have a 20-pound stringer one of those days, but I don't think that they'll repeat themselves.
First day leader Denny Brower of Missouri returns to the shallow grassy area which produced his 23-pound stringer yesterday. And here's what he's doing.
What I'm basically doing is just taking a weedless type of spoon, like a Rebel Arrowhead or a Johnson Silver Minnow we got a Bass Pro Shop white twin tail on behind it to give it a little more action, and just slow rolling it through this pepper grass. The fish, more or less, are just spotty out here. They're traveling in small packs, and when you run across one, you're liable to catch 2 or 3 out of a small area, but there's really no definition or reason why you can isolate those places. You just got to cover a lot of water, and the fish are real spooky. That's what makes this wind so good. We're able to sneak up on them a little bit better, and hopefully we can catch a few fish. Now, the fish fed better yesterday afternoon, especially the bigger fish, so hopefully that'll be the case again today. So far, the action's been pretty slow. We had, I think, 4 strikes our first pass down, but they were just all small fish.
Arizonan Greg Hines in 3rd place this morning is fishing an open water area up in the north end of the lake. And he's in the fish big time. During the 2 hours the Bassmaster's cameras were on Greg, he boated over 20 bass. And fishing close by is Texas pro Gary Klein. A problem with fishing lures such as rattling crankbaits, which Gary is casting, is slack line. A bass can throw this type lure quickly if line slack isn't removed. And here's how Gary Klein does it. The Bassmasters will be right back from the Florida Invitational on Lake Okeechobee. Stay tuned.
Where can you go on Goodyear Wrangler radials? So where can you go on Goodyear Wrangler radials? Just about anywhere you want. Put on a set of Goodyear Wrangler radials, and you'll know why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Introducing the Dolphin, the revolutionary patented hydrofoil. Does your boat run like a barge? No need to upgrade, simply Dolphinize. Add the Dolphin and you'll think you own a new boat. Your boat will plane quickly with less power, and you can save up to 50% on fuel costs. The Dolphin improves performance from powerful bass boats to small, low-powered inflatables. What kind of ride do you prefer? The Dolphin hydrofoil will improve performance, save fuel, and enhance safety. The Dolphin. Ask for it by name.
When it comes to fishing, everything's got to be just right, from what goes on the end of my line to what goes in the bottom of my boat. For me, that's Delco Voyager batteries with built-in charge indicators. Deep cycling and high cranking the whole time I'm out.
Delco Voyager batteries. Deep cycling, high cranking.
No other batteries get on board my boat. For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC-DELCO.
For world-renowned bass fishing, it's Roland Martin's Bass Capital Resort on shimmering Lake Okeechobee with full-service marina from bait and tackle to resort wear. And what a resort it is! Enjoy luxury living with townhouses fully furnished and equipped and featuring screened porches to extend the outdoor fun. 3-day package just $69.95. For reservations, call 1-800-252-5699. It's fun for the whole family, and best of all, you're in bass fishing country. Roland Martin's Bass Capital Resort.
Wind can greatly affect the fishing on any lake, but here on Okeechobee it's critical because of the shallow water, as Florida angler Mike Sermon explains.
Yesterday the wind blew out of the east-southeast and was pushing water to this side of the bay. Today the wind changed to the dead south or even a little southwest and pushed the water that was on this side of the shoreline away, and the water's dropped probably 6 inches. It's a lot of people don't realize this is Okeechobee's like a big bowl. When the wind blows one way, the water pushes to the other end, and when it turns and blows the other way, it pushes right back. A lot of people's fish right now. We've got a bunch of buddies, all the Team Storm guys, and they're all having problems too because we banked on the south end, and right now with the water blowing out of the south, or the wind blowing out of the south and the water pushed out, it's making it a lot tougher with these fish. We're fishing in about 18 inches of water. And there's beds all through here. There's a bed there, and there's a bed right there. There's a bed right there. But the fish are not on their beds today.
But despite the conditions, you can bet someone will figure a way to catch bass.
Gary Klein, folks, if you look at the scales, he is in 7th place. A good creel yesterday, total of 17.4, another limit today. And watch the scales, folks. Gary Klein's weight, 15 pounds. 15 ounces, mark it, 15. Let's give him a good hand, folks. There you are. Fantastic. This puts you in the lead in the tournament. I see no fish that are absolutely astronomically big, but folks, there's a lot of fish in this category right here. He's got several, and that put him up there. He's got a remarkable catch, and this is going to move him all the way up from 7th place. And I got to know, is there something going on out there that we don't know about that you might share?
Well, Ray, there is, especially in the area that we found. It's kind of unique. There's only one other tournament competitor or angler that's fishing in this area. It's a real good friend of mine, Greg Hines, who's currently in 3rd place. He had 21.10 yesterday, and folks, he's got another nice stringer of fish again today, and everybody's honored us. You know, we're so obvious we're not obvious, and nobody's shut down on us. Everybody's leaving us alone, and we've got a few fish in one little area, and each one of us are probably catching 20 or 30 fish a day. Today, the big fish didn't bite. Yesterday, I personally watched Greg lose one about 8 to 10, one about 5, and one about 6, so he should have weighed over 30 pounds yesterday. I just haven't had any big bites yet.
Well, we have one more day. Good luck. Hope you hold the lead.
Thank you, Ray.
The average age for these professional bass anglers is in the mid-30s. But there's one Bassmaster here a bit over par, Missouri's Shorty Evans.
Shorty Evans, 77th birthday. Let's everybody sing happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, lousy Shorty. Happy birthday to you. Shorty, listen, I tell you, pal, it's been a long time on the trail, but it's been quick, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, but I've got one more tournament to win before I hang it up.
And it seems Mike Sermon did find some bass.
Mike Sermon, folks, 4th place with 20 pounds and 8 ounces. This young man has got a chance to pull this thing out. This is his mother and daddy and his wife, first wife, and his weight, 17 pounds and 4 ounces. Let's give him a nice hand. Sermon, that's going to move you up. We'll take you have just pulled into the lead. Sermon is in the lead.
And now Arizona's Greg Hines comes to the scales.
Greg Hines in 3rd place with 21 pounds and 10 ounces. Now, folks, this is going to be an interesting race. Sherman is taking the lead. He was in 4th. He's now in 1st. Now comes 3rd place of yesterday. Greg Hines, Arizona angler, total weight 16 pounds and 4 ounces. The lead may change again. I believe Bob Cobb will make a fix. You have just pulled in the lead by 2 ounces. Now, hold up these fish right here. A couple of these fish, folks, are not enormous. They're just good, solid 2.5 pound bass. Here's a couple of them that are very typical of what he's got. You got to look at this man. He's 6 foot 4 inches tall, and the bass don't look as big as they really are. All right. He's taking over the lead by 2 ounces. We'll move the fish off, and I must ask you, Greg, we have one more day, and you've got some real good fishermen bumping you. So what are you going to do? What's the plan?
Well, I'm just going to go back to the area I was fishing the last 2 days. There's a lot of fish there. Gary Klein and myself are fishing it, the only 2 boats in there, and so we should be able to catch a few fish tomorrow.
And how does a western desert impoundment angler like Greg Hines find bass on Florida's Okeechobee?
Fishing out west, I fish a lot in the ocean, and one of the keys in fishing the ocean is watching the birds, and that's how I found the fish. I was just driving across this big bay, and I saw the seagulls diving out in the bay. And so I just idled around, and I could see bait fish working underneath, great big shad. And so I immediately took out a crankbait, a Cordell spot, threw it out across there, and the first stop I made in pre-fish, I probably caught 25 fish out of it. And then after doing that, I just started working the area and trying to figure out why they're there and what they're doing. And basically, they're just cruising over the grass, and it's very, very fine grass. It's basically a bare bottom, but there's a little bit of shrimp grass and a little bit of eel grass that's holding the fish. And you just got to move until you hit a school, and then I'll throw out a buoy and keep circling the area and try to stay with the school and catch as many fish as I can when I can.
The weather forecast for tomorrow morning is a cold front. How will the changing conditions affect the fishing?
We do have a weather front coming in, and today the wind is predominantly out of the south. Tomorrow it's supposed to switch, come out of the northwest. Air temperature is supposed to drop a little bit, and I think really if the weather gets too severe, it's going to affect us, not the fish. Those fish are committed to the area. A rattle trap is a real good lure to use during the frontal conditions. For some reason, the fish just keep getting a rattle trap. So I still feel very confident that we're going to be able to go out and catch 15 to maybe a 30-pound stringer. Who knows?
The Bassmasters will be right back from the Big O, Lake Okeechobee at Clewiston, Florida. Stay tuned.
You know, it really didn't surprise me when the New York Times reported that President George Bush claimed that his favorite magazine of all was Bassmaster magazine. You know, for over 22 years, Bassmaster magazine has been helping improve the fishing skills of everyone from great presidents to great weekend anglers. I'm Ray Scott, and whether you're a beginner or a seasoned angler, to catch more bass, you need to join the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. Your exclusive member benefits include 10 big issues of Bassmaster magazine, a handsome membership packet, and much, much more. Plus, if you join now, you'll get absolutely free this terrific tackle pack worth $9.95. So call toll-free. Here's how.
Call 1-800-543-1300 to join Bass. In addition to 10 big issues of Bassmaster and full membership credentials, you'll get a free tackle pack, including auger-tail worms, Berkeley trilene line, Man's Baby 1- lure, and the free book, Bass and Magic. That's 1-800-543-1300.
The final chapter of the Bassmaster Florida Invitational, and what the day will bring is unknown. But one thing's for certain, the weather has changed. Falling temperatures and strong, strong winds. For the most part, Okeechobee is a wide-open, unprotected lake, and many of the pros have been fishing offshore weed beds until today.
30-mile-an-hour winds, the temperature went from 80 degrees to 50 degrees, and it's just super tough. I have a feeling most of the people that were in open water, yesterday there was 30 boats out from me fishing open water peppergrass, and as you can see, there's not a boat out there today. There's just no way to fish it. They've got 3-foot seas on places they were fishing. I've been pitching way back in the bulrush line, but you can't even do that because the boat's moving too fast. You can't slow it down. This is going to be a very tough day.
For this morning's leader, fishing's tough. Greg Hines, in the same area he's fished for 2 days, is having trouble coming up with the bites he needs to win his first B.A.S.S tournament. How Gary Klein is doing is a mystery at this point, because the 30-mile-per-hour winds prevent the Bassmaster's cameras from getting close to him. But on Okeechobee, an angler's fortunes can change on the next cast, like this 7-pound, 9-ounce lunker caught by Florida pro Chet Dothett on a spinnerbait. It'll be tough to beat for Big Bass of the Day honors at this afternoon's weigh-in.
That's the reason. We got one more.
Now the moment of truth. Can Greg Hines retain his lead?
Greg Hines of Arizona, 2 bass. The folks, Greg Hines, if you know the scoreboard, is laying in first place, 37 pounds and 14 ounces. Chance to win this big tournament here, and it brings in 2 small fish. The weight 3 pounds and 9 ounces. Greg, I gotta ask you to tell me what happened. I know the wind was part of the problem, but was that the biggest problem?
Well, I'd like to use that as an excuse, I guess, but the fish just didn't bite for me today. Gary Klein's in the same area I was in, and as you guys will see, he'll have a nice limit of fish. My partner caught 4 fish, and it was just with the wind and everything, it was just a tough day, and they didn't bite for me today.
And now Gary Klein, in 7th place this morning, weighs in.
Gary has 33 pounds of fish when he started this morning. He needs 10 pounds and 15 ounces to take the lead. Klein is in 7th place at this moment. The last day, let's weigh him and see what we got. He went in some treacherous water. 20 pounds, 4 ounces. Bingo! Boy, that is doing it. That is clearly, he takes the lead. We'll determine in just a minute how much, but that is a remarkable catch. Folks, he's got fish there stacked in here like cordwood. Yeah, grab a hold of a couple of big ones. All of them are big fish. All of them are nice fish. Look at here. He's got a whole nest of over 20 pounds. Biggest creel of the day. And folks, this will make him the winner of this tournament unless another miracle comes down the pike. Let's give him a good hand. Gary, this is an obvious victory for you. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. You come from 7th place with 31 pounds, and bingo, you're over 50.
Well, Ray, I've really been fortunate in this event. I guess really I owe this tournament to 2 people. First, my lovely wife Jana for supporting me. I think since we've been married, she's really set me straight on how to become a better tournament angler and a better person. And second is a real close friend of mine, Greg Hines. And Greg had some unfortunate, I guess, things happen today. He only caught 2 fish, and we were both fishing the same area. And Greg came to me the second day in practice and said, Gary, I found the darndest wad of fish. There must be thousands of them out there, and there's a big area out there. Why don't we just see if we can't work it together, and maybe we can keep each other in line and catch as many fish as we can. That's what we've done, folks. The last 3 days, Greg and I have had this one area all to ourselves. We're fishing way out in the main lake, and we're throwing rattle traps, and I think Greg's throwing a Cordell rattling spot. But the fish were in about 1 foot to 3.5 feet of water. And it was real important to just not cast the rattle trap out there and reel it in. You had to really get in tune with what the bait was doing. In other words, you had to clip the top of the grass because there's no visible grass out there. There's a little bit of shrimp grass, some eel grass, and it was real important to make the long cast of the rattle trap and just kind of work it across the top of the grass. And once it broke free, the fish would hit it. But again, folks, I really owe this win to Greg.
Well, that's super. Let's give a nice hand, folks. I think he's our victor. All the best. Congratulations.
Gary Klein, the champion of the Florida Invitational, his 5th victory on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail, and a strong performance in his bid to repeat as the Bass Angler of the Year. Right now it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
What kind of retrieve were you moving the lure? How were you moving the lure, if anything special?
Well, today it was definitely something special, but the first 2 days it was just real important to make a long cast and feel the bottom, folks. That was real important. My partners, I think you did a lot of casting and reeling, and it was real important that you fished the lure. You had to concentrate on the action of that bait, make a long cast, feel the wobbling of the crankbait, and allow it to clip the top of the grass, because as soon as it broke free the grass, the fish would grab it. And there's just little patches of this grass throughout the lake. And sometimes you'd go 200 or 300 yards and never feel a thing, and all of a sudden you'd hit a little clump. Once you located the clump with the rattle trap, then you'd make 5 or 6 casts around that clump and finally catch a fish. Today the fish wanted a drop. For some reason, I don't know, but the first fish about 4.5 pounds hit me on the sink after I made the cast. So then for the rest of the day, I'd make a long cast of the rattle trap, rip it, and let it sink. Rip it, let it sink, and I do this about 4 or 5 times and reel it in and make another cast. And almost every fish today would hit me on the sink, and they just, tick it like a jig strike.
It's the same thing every Saturday. He puts on those old blue jeans and goes out with that old dog, and he's gone all day. He says he's going to bring back dinner, but all he ever brings back is that old dog.
Here's to old dogs, Saturday mornings, and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
A great tournament, a great bass in lake, and our hats off to Gary Klein for his great come-from-behind win. Now next week, we'll be at a real favorite event on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail, Mega Bucks, a $600,000 fish-off on the Harris Chain of Lakes at Leesburg, Florida. The bucks are big, and the excitement builds as the pros compete on a 10-hole course in the final rounds. And you'll be right there with the bass-catching action. For the Bassmasters, this is Bob Cobb. We'll see you all next week at Mega Bucks.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the heartbeat of America. Today's Chevy truck. Ranger boats. We still build them one at a time. DuPont Power Lines. Stren, Magnathin, High Impact, and Magnum 720 and 1440. Humminbird. Absolutely brilliant technology. Goodyear Wrangler Radials. The tires that will take you just about anywhere. Dolsher Products Incorporated. The original patented hydrofoil. Delco Voyager Marine Batteries. Deep cycling, maintenance-free. Roland Martin's Bass Capital Resort on Lake Okeechobee. Wrangler, the official jeans and shirts of the Bassmaster Tournament Trail. And the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, the world's largest bass fishing organization.
Lake Okeechobee, the site of the Bassmaster Florida Invitational. Third stop on the 1991 B.A.S.S. Invitational Tournament Trail. And the biggest news here this week so far is the rain. This area of South Florida has been in a virtual drought for the past 6 months, until yesterday when the rains came down in buckets. And these heavy rains might just change the outcome of this tournament. The lake is rising, some areas are getting muddy, and the bass are moving. We'll see just how well these 300 pros do when we return. I'm Bob Cobb. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back from Lewiston, Florida, and Lake Okeechobee.
For decades, fishermen have searched for the ultimate plastic worm. One that fish don't spit out. But the results have always been the same. Until now, introducing the revolutionary Berkeley Power Worm. Formulated with flavor and scent enhancers, so effective, fish not only strike, they hold on. Berkeley Power Worms. Fish just won't let go.
The great thing about fishing is that size limits apply only to the fish. BP, a sponsor of fishing programs and events for all ages.
Funny how some people seem destined by nature to own an Evinrude outboard motor. Evinrude owners are born, not made.
When the fishing gets rugged, you'd better have the right line that holds up. Stren from DuPont. It's made for the most grueling fishing conditions anywhere. Stren from DuPont. With strength that will survive all the nicks, scrapes, and shocks any fish can throw at you. Stren from DuPont. Your choice of lines with strength you can count on. Stren from DuPont.
Lake Okeechobee, site of the $175,000 Bassmaster Florida Invitational, and the site of something most uncommon lately to this huge inland lake, rain. Yesterday, during the last day of practice for this 3-day tournament, the rains came in a big way. In fact, in nearby West Palm Beach, some areas recorded more than 10 inches. What it'll do to the fishing is yet to be known. The heavy runoff will raise the drought-stricken lake level, but how it will affect the bass is a big question for these Bassmasters. And there's more of the same today. Dark, dismal, and wet. Rain gear is the uniform of the day as these 300 anglers prepare to do battle with the bass. Although Okeechobee is rising due to the rain, the water level is very low, lower than last year. Some of the most productive areas during the 1990 Invitational are, for all practical purposes, out of the water or unfishable because of heavy vegetation growth. Some of the Big O's bass are spawning, but the majority of these pro anglers feel they're fishing for pre-spawn bass. And as usual here, anglers find the fish bunched up on shallow grass flats. While these tournament fishermen use a variety of artificial lures, the plastic worm seems to be working best for the majority of these contestants. And big bass like this one are often the payoff. While fishing for many this first day is slow, someone will always find and catch the bass, like Texas angler Bruce Benedict.
Watch the scale. 20 pounds, 4 ounces. 20 pounds, 4. Mark it. Hold it. Let me check it one more time. I want to be absolutely positive. It's right on the break. 20 pounds, 4 ounces. Mark it. Now, reach in here and pull out the 2 big fish. Folks,
This is a 7 bass limit that we've seen several today, but we don't have 2 killers in there. That's what does it.
Day 2 of the B.A.S.S. Florida Invitational. A cold front passed in the night, and the day is clear, cool, and windy. The pros figure it'll be tough fishing, but Oklahoma's Jimmy Houston, in second place this morning, scores early. And fishing nearby, another Oklahoma pro is also catching bass, Ken Cook. What's Jimmy Houston's pattern? Is he catching pre-spawn or bedding bass?
You see a few beds in here, so obviously you know that some of them are in here spawning. I think some of them are resident fish that just live up here real shallow. No matter how low the lake gets, they just don't leave and go out in that deeper grass. But I'm pretty sure that some of the big fish I've caught the last 3 or 4 days have probably come off beds, because when I catch a big one, sometimes I look and there'll be a bed there close by.
Even though heavy rains create runoff, not all the water coming into a lake is of good enough quality to supply needed oxygen for fish survival. That's why B.A.S.S. Tournament Director Dewey Kendrick continually checks oxygen levels in the release area.
We check the oxygen content of the water in the actual body of water where we're going to release the tournament fish that are caught. Because our #1 goal at Bass is to always put the fish back in the water and make them survive. And our survival rate so far has been about 98.5% over the 23 years that we've been releasing fish. And what I did this week, I came down on Monday, checked the oxygen content. The oxygen content was about 3 parts per million, which is really unsuitable for the bass to survive in. And just took a standard oxygen meter like the one I'm holding in my hand now, and we checked the oxygen content with it. It shows you've got a green zone, and in that green zone is the area of that the fish can survive in. You've got a red zone over on the left on the meter, and once it gets to that red zone, really anything below about 4.5 parts per million to 5 parts per million oxygen content, the fish will not survive in. So as soon as I saw it light up in the red zone, I knew we had to do something. So called Tallahassee, Florida, talked to the Game and Fish, got a permit to haul the fish from the weigh-in site over to the main body of the lake and release them every day. And that's what we've been doing while we've been here at the tournament. We're releasing the fish in the rim canal where the oxygen content is excellent. And that's one thing that I hope that most of the tournament organizations throughout the country will do, is check the oxygen content in the water where they're releasing their fish, because if there's no oxygen, those fish are not going to survive.
The Bassmasters will be right back from Clewiston, Florida, and the 1991 B.A.S.S. Florida Invitational. Don't go away.
You already know and trust Rubbermaid's Kitchenwares division and our trash can division. Now we'd like to introduce you to our cooler division. Rubbermaid makes coolers in a wide variety of styles and cool colors. And they all have the quality features and durability you expect from Rubbermaid.
Too cool.
Don't you wish everything was made like Rubbermaid?
Recognized as the most elite class of fishing and family boats today, meticulously crafted with extraordinary attention to detail, and with exclusive RPM factory rigging from Ranger, legendary Mercury and Mariner outboards can be precision matched for premier performance. Presenting the 400 Comanche series from Ranger, sheer muscle and sophistication, producing a supercharged atmosphere of world-class proportions.
Bassmaster Classic Champion, Rick Klein.
To win, you need the best. And take it from me, here's where you'll find the best in tackle and the best prices. It's Bass Pro Shop's Outdoor World Spring Sale Catalog, famous for name brand sporting goods at unbeatable prices. And you shop right from your own home. If you're a Bass Pro customer, your catalog's already on the way. If not, call today, 1-800-BASS-PRO, for your free money-saving Spring Fever catalog.
Lunker Lure Products is proud to introduce their new Vibratron Rattler. Tested over 3 years, the Vibratron outfished all other spinnerbaits 7-1. It has never been beaten. The off-balance blade vibrates the loud built-in rattle. Most plastic tubes work. Just cut the closed end and slip on. Vibratron Rattler, guaranteed to catch 5 times more fish or your money back.
Day 2 of the Bassmaster Florida Invitational winds down. And while the pickings overall seem slim, some Lake Okeechobee anglers do well.
7 bass, people. This man here is a dynamite fisherman, one of our biggest classics in the early days. He had, what was your weight the first, yesterday?
I had 11.3. I was like 39th place.
39th place. But I want to tell you something. This is going to move him up. Bob Cobb, he's got a marvelous catch. And you can see here a good 10 pounds or better right quick. And the weight, 13 pounds, 13 ounces. Let's give him a good hand. If I got news for you, that's going to keep you in there, Jack. Let's take a look at the big bass. Just put Jack Haynes has just come into the lead, people. This is the fish that did it right here. This fish could go over 5 pounds.
The fishing is tough, the catching tougher. Yesterday, the 300 angler field weighed in 1,176 bass. Today, 782. That's 394 fewer. Why? Well, it's a good question, and former fisheries biologist Ken Cook offers an explanation.
Well, what we've had occur here is a pretty typical situation for fishing. We have a couple of 3 days of real cloudy, rainy weather, and the fish are feeling real good. The water's warm, and they're happy, and they're biting, and all their food organisms are moving around, and it's easy for bass to be an active feeding fish. But the sun comes out real bright after the cold front goes through, and even though the water temperature may not drop, if it does that, then that is even worse. It hadn't dropped here all that much yet. But what happens with the bright sunlight, the bass tend to get tighter up under cover. Their food, the shiners and minnows that they eat are not as able to be as effective at eating, so they're not moving around as much. The whole food chain kind of shuts down because of the bright sunlight. They tend to get in heavier cover or deeper water, something that gives them more security, and that makes it hard for the fishermen to adapt to this change a lot of times. And so the fish probably haven't changed location drastically unless there's been some other factor like water quality changes.
Day 3 of the Florida Invitational. And as the competitors leave for their fishing areas, they know the catching's going to be tough. Pre-tournament estimates for the 3-day winning weight were forecast in the neighborhood of 60 pounds. As you can see from the scoreboard, there's a lot of catching up to be done. Tournament leader Jack Haynes starts things off right. This veteran bass angler won the 1975 Bassmasters Classic his first year on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail. He's a proven pro.
Come here for 7 like that. Come on, little fella. Well, I'll start with that.
Not far away, the bass are coming into second place angler Ken Cook's boat, but it's his partner doing the catching. And back with the leader, Jack Haynes.
The pattern I've been working out here is it's actually a spawn fish pattern. There's a lot of fish in this area, and I'm just working the holes in the eelgrass and the peppergrass up in here. And when you can see them, it's a lot easier to fish them. That's why right now I can't see them real well, so I'm just kind of going around, kind of looking for dark spots, throwing this spinnerbait in. They've been biting spinnerbait and a worm, and been biting a spoon a little bit.
And in an almost secluded area, Florida's Roland Martin, in third place, pitches plastic worms in the rushes. There's no question that in the history of professional bass angling, Roland Martin stands at the top. He placed second in the first B.A.S.S tournament he entered in 1970, won the next tournament he fished, and 15 more. He has more tournament wins, 16, than any Bassmaster in history. Add to that record these facts. He's won Angler of the Year 9 times, qualified for 18 out of 20 Bassmasters Classic World Finals.
He's competed in 162 Bassmasters tournaments, placing in the money in 125 of them, including 2 second-place Megabucks finishes. Martin won the Florida Invitational on Lake Okeechobee in 1980 and placed second to Rick Klein in 1985, losing by 1 ounce. And today, Roland started out only 1 pound 5 ounces off the lead. This morning's leader, Jack Haynes, is still catching bass, but they're small. The size limit for this tournament is 12 inches. This bass is questionable. Roland Martin's partner, Carlos Sellers, is hanging on to a big biggin. Sergeant Major Sellers is a career Army NCO stationed at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. He qualified for the 1990 Bassmasters Classic in Richmond, Virginia through the B.A.S.S. Federation. He's fishing with the pros now and obviously holding his own.
Same reed head my partner caught the first day, caught his 6 pounds. Look at that hook.
It's not, that's a good size.
Jack Haynes needs another bass. He needed this one. Weigh-in time, and local favorite Roland Martin comes to the scales.
Roland Martin in third place needs 10 pounds, 5 ounces to take the lead. This is third place with 23 pounds, 11 ounces. Watch the scale. That's it, 13 pounds, 10 ounces, mark it. Roland, I think that's gonna put you clearly in the lead. Give us a quickie rundown of what you were doing, Roland.
Well, I've worked real extensively in this tournament with Fred Ward. Fred's been on the lake for about 50 days, and we found about 3 good patterns. And one of the patterns, I guess that it's really Fred's pattern, is this real backwater stuff. I mean, we're so far back in some places. Of course, the water's come up and probably put more fish in those back areas than before, but it's so bad that you go to run your trolling motor and the mud's coming up off the bottom. And it's places like in behind the reeds. And my first spot was all the boats were going by me. The whole tournament went by me practically, and they couldn't see me because I'm behind these reed heads. And they're not everywhere in there, of course, but they're basically go back into the bulrushes so far that you're out of sight. People can't really see you. And these fish are in about 2 feet of water right now, but see, it's come up about a foot. And a couple weeks ago, it was so shallow, the boat wouldn't even float back there.
Amazing.
But they're actually back there. A few of them are spawning, and a few of them are just laying around the reed clumps. You look for the points of the reeds where the current is kind of making a little, or a pass between 2 reed clumps. There's a bass like in a pass or on a point. And just worm fishing. And I did catch a couple on little rapalas, twitching them along early, but basically I've taken about 50 keeper bass this tournament, mainly on worm.
Fantastic. All right, nice hand, folks. One of the great names in fishing, Roland Martin. We're pleased to be here with he and his beautiful wife, Marianne, at that nice facility.
Usually for the tournament leader, there's a suspense factor as the challengers weigh in, but not today, because Roland has talked to them. He knows what they caught.
Hey, no, wait a minute. I want to turn. Hey, I've just seen Ken Cook, and I beat him. And I've just seen Jack Haynes, and I've just seen Jimmy Houston, and I beat all those guys. All those top guys, I beat them.
And Roland Martin is the champion of the Lake Okeechobee 1991 Florida Invitational, $34,000 richer than he was this morning, adding yet another notch on his all-time B.A.S.S. tournament record, his 17th win. Stay on board. The Bassmasters will be right back with a look at what the pros do on their days off the water. We'll be right back.
My dad and I have owned Ford trucks for as long as I can remember. If somebody had told me 3 months ago that I'd be driving a Chevy truck, well, I wouldn't have believed them. Well, I took a look at the new Chevy truck, and they've totally redesigned the truck. And test drove it. That was enough to sell me on it. It's got the Vortex V6. It's got plenty of power. They've had tough competition from Ford, and they've beat them.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevy truck.
Chevrolet's done their homework on this truck.
Wearing this bass patch can make you a better bass fisherman, guaranteed, and you've got my word to back it up. I'm Ray Scott, and wearing the official bass patch is just one of the many privileges of membership in the Bass Anglers Sportsman's Society. But most important, everything we do at Bass is designed to help you catch more fish like these pros are doing. As a member, you'll enjoy 10 big issues a year of Bassmaster magazine, our official publication. And every issue is jam-packed cover to cover with spectacular outdoor photography with in-depth how-to articles that show you the tips and techniques you'll need to improve your bass fishing skills. So join Bass today and get your official membership packet and your bass patch. Call this toll-free number now, and I'll also send you a free gift.
Call 1-800-543-2200 to join Bass and get your free tackle pack with Man 79 crankbait, Berkeley's Power Crawl, Berkeley's Trimax line, and Bass spinnerbait. With your $15 paid membership, you'll also receive 10 big issues of Bassmaster magazine. To join, call 1-800-543-2200.
While
fishing is the main activity for professional bass anglers, promotion and public education about the sport is a major contribution. Sport, boat, and travel shows are important vehicles for bass and pros to teach, promote, and discuss their sport with fishermen and boaters throughout the country. Like 1990 Angler of the Year Guido Hibden does here.
I use a 393. It's just like this boat right here, and you know, there's a lot of reasons for it. It's a good family boat. My wife, she fishes with me quite a bit, and we fish a lot of big water around over the country, and you know, I don't have any trouble carrying all my tackle that I carry. We carry a lot of it, that's for sure, but it's a good family boat. You can ski out of it. You can do about anything that you want to. It's a 393 Ranger is what it is. It's just the one I use in competition is just like this boat right here.
And it's basic knowledge these pros like Jerry Wood bring to the shows to share with entry-level anglers and boaters.
The best way to control your trim, of course, is whenever you start forward, you have your trim switch. You also have a trim gauge. You get in problems over trimming or under trimming. If you keep the bow down too far when you're running rough water, it'll take on spray over the bows and get into the boat itself. So you use your trim to raise that bow up.
Although the nation's economy is slower and business for the most part is down, America's consumers are still buying the tools of their hobby. Like here at the Tulsa Boat Sport and Travel Show. From reels and rods, bags of plastic worms and trolling motors, to sonar fish finders to new bass rigs, consumers are shopping the shows and buying.
We've been told that there's a economical downturn as far as our economy goes now, but we find that the bass fishermen are still going to be fishing. We also found out if you can show them that you do have a value to sell them, these people are still here and they're still buying. Our show this year, compared to years before, is just as good. We just have to work a little bit harder for that customer.
For many sports show goers, it's a gee whiz kind of experience, but it's also the place to see what's new.
The biggest, newest things that's on the market today is OMC's come out with their new 60-degree engines here. Created quite a storm, very responsive, totally new look. Mid-range, low end is just awesome. There's a lot of talk about it, a lot of people looking at them, and a lot of people out here looking for them.
And if you think you've seen everything new, look at the scant cap that veteran Bassmaster Classic contender Basil Bacon demonstrates.
This is not only a real good looking machine and something that's aerodynamic, it's going to save you a few bucks in fuel rolling down the highway, but it's quite functional. Punch it up there, Ron, let's show them what happens. Simply bolts to the trailer. As you can see, the hydraulic system lifts it up. Back your boat down to the water, stick it in, somebody drives it out for you, come back up, you load it back up, you shut it back down. It's just that simple. And like I say, it looks good. It's going to protect not only the boat, the finishes on the boat, the seats, the carpet, and everything inside. It's also going to protect that valuable tackle. So.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
You know, folks, for years I used a casting rod and reel much like this one. 12, 14-pound test line, 5.5-foot rod. But recently I've found another system, and that's my heavy-duty saltwater spinning rod system. This is a 6.5 foot rod, just stiff. I catch big snook and cobia on this rod. Huge saltwater spinning reel, large diameter spool, 17-pound line, a tight drag. But really what makes this interesting is the screw-on gambler weight, like this one. Look at this. I'm taking this gambler worm, like I used in this tournament, to win the tournament. I'm coming through the head of the worm a little bit farther than normal, and I'm screwing that weight into the worm. Screw it in about 5 or 6 turns, pull the hook down just a little bit more. Now, with this two-handed rod, watch this cast. Big spool, about 150 foot, just straight on down. That's a long cast with heavy line.
It's great. They fixed up that old truck and went out for their big driving lesson. You know, they'll never forget this day as long as they live.
Here's to fathers and sons, first-time driving lessons and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
What a great win for Roland Martin on a great lake, the Big O, Lake Okeechobee. And as we add up the scores, we see that the Bass Angler of the Year race is getting red hot. And we'll be with one of the top contenders next week, former world champion Guido Hibdon, the reigning 1990 Angler of the Year. We'll be with Guido on his home waters in Missouri, Lake of the Ozarks. You'll learn his tips and techniques that have made him one of the best anglers in B.A.S.S tournament trail history. Hope you'll join us. For the Bassmaster, this is Bob Cobb. We'll see you all next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by Berkley Power Baits, fortified with flavor and scent enhancers so powerful fish just won't let go. BP, a leading producer of oil and gas for America's energy needs. Evinrude Outboards. Evinrude owners are born, not made. DuPont Power Lines, Stren, Prime Plus, and Magnathin. Rubbermaid Specialty Products Division. Don't you wish everything was made like Rubbermaid? Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time. Bass Pro Shops, world's largest supplier of premium tackle. Lunker Lure Products, manufacturer of the original buzz bait. Chevy Trucks, more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet. Wrangler, the official jeans and shirts of the B.A.S.S Tournament Trail. And the Bass Angler Sportsman Society.
10 pounds, 5 ounces to take the lead. He needs 10-5 to take the lead. Roland has, this is third place with 23 pounds, 11 ounces. Watch the scale. That's it, 13 pounds, 10 ounces. Mark it. Roland, I think that's going to put you clearly in the lead.